Okay, I think we're live. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Grace. I did notice that I actually set the stream to go live apparently on December 27th, 2025. I've had to go live a year early as a result. I apologize for that. So last night in Thorpe World, what's a catch up? We've got Grace launched Lolcow Rejects and is creating like a weird kayfabe environment with or like a weird environment with Keem where he's like obsessed with her. He made almost the entire Lolcow live show about how he's not involved with Lolcow Rejects, which makes it look like he is. How's it going, Eddie? I can't believe I set the video up to be for a year from now. I must have been really high last night. Well, this looks like a pretty crazy card coming up. Oh, but on Grace, she had Joy on, which was really funny since they were feuding like a little while ago. But a common enemy will bring people together. Queens was horrible. Queens was one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life last night. I don't know. I don't have any idea. I don't know what they're doing. They brought on a new person, another Grace replacement who completely flopped. And the thing is, they're not even giving these girls a chance. It's not like Tina and Becky are trying to create an environment that will allow these new people to perform. They're creating an environment that makes it impossible for them to perform. Like, shouldn't you want a good co-host instead of just wanting to, like, trash everybody that comes on the show? Like, I don't know. Anyway, that's what it is. Vegan Patriot last night, one of the most fun streams I've seen in a long time. Over 10 hours. Tons of IRL content, tons of vaping, tons of craziness. She went and met up with Purple, the air duster guy. That was interesting content. Went to Goodwill, did like over an hour of outfit try-ons. It was crazy. What old school wrestling we watch today? We're moving forward in Memphis in CWA. This is April 26, 1986. I haven't watched it, but I fast forwarded through a little bit to get a screen cap for the thumbnail. And there is a match on here that's Dutch Mantel versus the Undertaker, but obviously not the Undertaker that we know. But this looks like a good card. It's got Buddy Landell, Bill Dundee, Jerry Lawler at least comes out and cuts a promo. You got Dutch Mantel against the Undertaker. I saw Billy Travis when I was fast forwarding. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna review all 10 hours of that Vegan Patriot stream. I've just got to figure out how I'm gonna do it, but I definitely want to. That was a really good stream. Anyway, let's get going. CWA Memphis Wrestling, April 26, 1986. This picks up exactly where we left off at the end of the last week's stream. So here we go.
Lance Russell and Dave Brown right along ringside, and we're ready to go with another big one. I hope you are, as a matter of fact. By golly, Davey, what do we got lined up today?
Oh, get ready for Billy Travis coming in here in the opening match today. He's going to be in a single match.
Oh, and if you're just getting in here, sorry for that I scheduled the stream for a year from now. I didn't mean to do that. Agreed, yeah. You don't get to see the blow-off matches. But, I mean, for me, they're happening so often because this is like like every week it seems like has a new blow-off match. So if we wait long enough, we'll get to see like a different version of that match maybe. You know what I mean? Like they're not building for like months toward a big match. They're just pretty much building like week by week for a big show, or like maybe every like month or so. But yeah, I find that with ECW too. I have trouble finding some of their big house shows because I don't know. I don't know if WWE owns the rights to the fan cam like house show stuff or not, but it seems like YouTube is really like grabby about taking those down if you try to review them.
Rip Rogers will be along later. The Mod Squad will be here today, too. Dutch Mantel taking on an opponent in a single match, and then an expiration of time match that won't quit. We're going to have the team of Jeff Jarrett and Joe LeDuc in here today.
Oh boy, we're going to run into Jeff Jarrett problems. That's a pretty decent card overall.
It'll be interesting to see those guys go together. What you have told me is that we have, as usual, some good news and some bad news.
Right.
And boy, we got some bad news, too. Hey, we've got an interesting tape today that I don't think you've seen, and I think it'll be interesting to hear, not from the standpoint.
There were probably also a lot of really interesting matchups and like maybe like test runs of stuff on like the spot shows that weren't filmed. There's just a lot of history, unfortunately, from this era that's like gone. It's very depressing.
Of coming across with any truthful things, I'm just simply saying we're going to see a version.
And Jimmy, if you're watching this, buddy, I'm not forgetting about you. I just got to rotate my content on here, but we're going to loop back around to you, buddy.
Of what has happened by Bill Dundee and Buddy Landell. And we gave them complete authority to go ahead and do whatever they're going to do in terms of the tapes and all of that. That'll be interesting to see. We're going to be back with the first round of action with the international heavyweight champ, Billy Travis, in just a moment.
We are ready to go here with this match as Billy Travis has the international heavyweight title handed out of the ring there, and we are
the Patriot. I'm sure he's going to win.
Underway. Masked Patriot going.
No, it's not the Masked Patriot. It's just the Patriot. Why don't they use consistent? I know they don't give a shit because these guys are like, who knows if it's even the same guy under there every time, but still, like, be consistent with the names. Mattel's got to know what to put on the packaging of the Masked Patriot figure.
One against him here.
Yeah, non-title bout, David, obviously, with a belt in there. We didn't want to have any confusion.
Right.
It's a one-fall, 15-minute time limit bout with the Patriot going against Billy Travis. Hey, he hooked him, tripped him forward down to the rope. No good move by the Patriot.
Like, I like that little like chain of moves that he does, but he started doing it at the same place in every match now, which isn't the best.
Patriot's a fighter, but boy, he's going against one too, and Billy Travis. Young man has really, really developed the last, well, not the last year, the last 6 months he's come a long way. And that international belt that you saw at the beginning of the match is proof of it. Championship caliber wrestler, no doubt about it. The Patriot using the ropes effectively there for himself.
That's what I was wondering. Like, it seems like is that the case with Smoky Mountain too? That there's like a bunch of I don't know about fan footage, but like that there's the library is divided in how when WWE bought the rights to it, like they didn't get everything, but they got like most of the stuff. I don't know.
I don't think there's.
I would seriously, like, I would legitimately buy, like, for a premium price, like a DVD set of just every Smoky Mountain like episode and like every like all the like shows that they built to and shit like that. I would love to have that.
Any question either, Davey, that you can tie the time and the real.
Well, I mean, I'd love to have a DVD set from all the territories, but especially from there.
Proven and changed right to when Frank Morrell.
Mid-South would be amazing too. I don't know if they do it anymore, but way back in the day, like in the early days of the internet, there were people who would make like, they would burn DVDs of like compilations of matches, and they would have like, I actually found one on YouTube the other day, but it was like a bunch of matches with Terry Gordy and Steve Williams in tag team matches, but they would make those for like everywhere. And sometimes you'd find people that had like complete years of different territory shows.
Took over kind of as a friend and consultant too, Billy. Boy, as we said last week, as a matter of fact, I believe it was, it's just amazing what a matter of difference in terms of confidence now that Billy does have that belt. That was a tough win when he took that away from Gaddafi, and he really has shown the confidence in the ring. Patriot using the ropes very, very well to get out of his troubles that he's been in, and those have been numerous.
And maybe more.
Yes.
Backed under the ropes, Billy Travis, takes a right fist. Referee trying to get the Patriot back. Patriot smacks Billy Travis again, but now Billy reverses. He used the open hand. That was legal. He really smacked him hard, though. Flips him back to the center of the ring, and the masked Patriot finds himself sitting on the mat.
We got a dandy expiration of time.
I just feel like the way they're booking Billy Travis is wrong. I mean, for the time, or it's not wrong, but I don't care for it. I feel like these matches go like way too long with him. And I know it's like getting experience and getting him in front of people, but man, they're pretty, at least they're at the beginning, I guess.
Match coming.
And again, they're not bad. I don't think he's a bad wrestler and he's improving, but it seems, it's just kind of you're high energy at the beginning of the show, and then you just kind of like sucks the air out of the room. Paul sold off big shows for DVDs, and that messed the rights up. Yeah, if anybody has good records, it's got to be Jim Cornette.
Coming up today, it's going to be a tag bout that'll have Gaddafi and Pat.
He said, I remember on that High Spots interview with him where he toured people around his house. Cornette said he has a bunch of the Smoky Mountain house shows. I don't understand why he wouldn't want, what the issue is with releasing them. Maybe the music, I'm not sure.
Pat Rose together going against Jeff Jarrett and Joe LeDuc.
WWE doesn't seem interested. I don't think they really are interested in the territories at all. Like, I don't know what it's like now, but when I had Peacock like a year ago, when I would look through, like, Mid-South was like extremely partial. World Class was extremely partial. Like, the territories are hardly represented at all in any kind of like a substantial way. Like ECW, I think they had all the TV shows up from that one, but like most of the other territories, like Championship Wrestling from Florida, hardly anything. Like, I hate that. That really sucks. Like, I think if they own the rights to it and they don't, I guess you could argue that you don't have to you could just buy the rights and sit on it or whatever. But I think after like 20 years or 25 years, if you haven't made it available to the public, like, it should become, the public maybe shouldn't be able to sell it, but the public should be able to watch it and, you know, should be able to download it from somewhere, or, you know what I mean? Or watch it on YouTube for free.
An unlikely pair, to say the very least, but it'll be most interesting to see them in action here on Championship Wrestling. That's a little later in today's program.
Billy Travis trying to take control here from the masked Patriot. The Patriot tried to call timeout. He backed into the corner. Billy went right in there after him. Body slams him in the middle of the ring. Billy.
Like, the people that are most interested in this stuff are getting older, right? There'll always be people who want to go back and look at the old stuff. But that's going to be like a super small percentage of people. So I think the territory era is like, should be released now, because the people who really who appreciate it and who want to see it are like alive now. It's not just that some dusty relic, you know, from 100 years ago. Oh, you think he sells some of it on Cornette Collectibles? That could be true. I don't think I've ever actually... Well, I went there to look at the action figures, and I didn't like them.
Round behind him.
I think he's using the old Jakks Pacific molds, and I don't care for those.
Get a pretty good look at that hole there. You can see how that would put pressure on the shoulder. There's a little extra.
I think I remember, though, you're right. I think I remember seeing Night of the Champions on there when I was there. And he had like some old, not Smoky Mountain, but like old wrestling, like collections of like super old stuff.
The referee checking with the Patriot on possible submission. So far he said no, not giving it up.
Interesting thing, too, about that hole, Dave. When you step over, you kind of cut off other avenues that your opponent may have. Well, that's one way to do it. From behind, nailed by the Patriot. Ooh, big elbow, and Travis down in the middle of the ring. Patriot back out, grabs the hair. Getting ready to shoot him across the ring, but he's cut off at the pass by Billy Travis. Whoa! And he knocked the mask. He didn't even try to...
This is the longest 3 minutes of my life. Oh my God, he unmasked him?
No, he just hit him so hard, his head snapped, and the mask came right off. Out of the ring he goes with the mask covering his face. The referee starting a count, and he's trying to keep Travis back. I think that's...
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that WWE Vault page, I don't know if you go there very much, but they've started posting some like old school stuff. So we may not ever get like a complete exhaustive, you know, archive or whatever, but it seems like they are starting to release like complete shows from some of the older stuff, which is nice. But I don't know. I would love to sit down and just be able to watch some of these territories from start to, like, not from start to finish, but like the closest you can to that, to be able to follow the storylines and stuff. And it just sucks whenever there's like 6 weeks of episodes missing or something.
It's the first time that I've
never seen that happen before. He just hit him and the mask popped off.
The mask had come untied. Yeah, I believe that's going to be it.
That is it. The masked Patriot counted out as his mask was snapped off by the force of the blow as Billy hit him and his neck snapped and the mask popped off. He grabbed it and got out of here, apparently feeling that protecting the identity.
I know Tony Khan owns all the Ring of Honor footage. Did he ever get all of that online, or is that another like rights issue where everything pre-Sinclair is owned by somebody else? I remember I looked at the Honor Club and like the shit I wanted to see from like 02 to 05 maybe, or 02 to 06, none of it was on there at all. That could be breathing nerdom that they're putting it out because Vince is gone. I don't know how long the Vault channel's been around, but like they're putting out a ton of like super, super deep cut stuff sometimes.
It was more important than winning the match.
They put out a great show from the Omni the other day, like, or not the other day, but like a few weeks ago. It was so good.
Okay, we're ready to go as a matter of
Hey, He-Man, what's up?
fact. We got another bout, but obviously.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Rip Rogers looking pretty lit. That link you sent me, He-Man, that's got Joy yelling at people during the lockdown. That was so fucking funny. I want to do that in the drone footage and maybe like one other, like get about like I'm gonna do like an hour of Jedi Joy footage and do an episode about her. The drone stuff is great.
We're gonna have a little conversation here. The Hustler, Rip Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. You know the Hustler, Rip.
Their first YouTube video is still up too. I know they streamed other places or filmed and stuff, but in the one video, Rich says that it was their first time they were going live on YouTube. Yeah, I noticed that too whenever I went to start the stream. I was just really high last night, I guess.
Rip Rogers is a household name everywhere in this world of professional wrestling. And I've only been in the Mid-South area a short time, but one...
I was super into I was switching back and forth between Lol Cow Rejects and the Vegan Patriot stream. So like I was kind of distracted and pretty smoked out.
One thing I've seen a lot of wrestlers are concerned with being a pretty boy. You got Jarrett the King Lawler going around combing his hair, fixing his clothes.
Yep, that's what they said. He said that when he talked to the viewers, he was like, you guys probably know us from Periscope, but we're going to try it over here.
Making his pretty. Jeff Jarrett, he thinks he's a nice little pretty boy. And there's other people, Billy Travis, even the superstar and the Nature Boy. They're too concerned with their looks, Lance Russell. But let me tell the people in the studio, and let me tell everybody in television land that the #1 sex symbol in all professional wrestling today, the man who's won not one, but 2 bodybuilding titles, the man with unlimited zeal and sex appeal.
You thought the Vince documentary was disappointing. I think it was disappointing to me as a wrestling fan because I already knew all of it. But like if I went into it blind and I didn't know anything about wrestling, it would have been a much different experience. But I agree. I mean, it was made for like a super normie, like casual wrestling crowd. But I thought the technical parts of it were well done. And I loved Tony Atlas, the fucking Pat Patterson grabbing his Pekka in the shower. That was amazing. Tony Atlas maybe carried the documentary for me.
Appeal is none other than me, the Hustler Rip Rogers.
Well, it's a very positive statement.
And Bruce Pritchard getting buried all the time too. Like he'd say something defending Vince and then just get absolutely roasted by the next speaker.
And certainly no modesty there, but a positive statement.
No modesty intended, Mr. Russell, but I'm getting down to professional wrestling.
What do you think makes a great wrestler?
What I think makes a great wrestler is me, because I took Billy Travis, that international belt, and I turned...
I think the Thorpes did that too. I think they were on Telegram for a while and tried a few different things, so I don't know where all that footage is now.
Him every which way but loose. But I noticed in the Mid-South area, there's no way you can get a rematch. And I've been a top contender in everywhere, no matter where I've wrestled in this country.
And you had a match with Billy Travis in there, so you got your opportunity. You did not win it. Now what?
What? Let me tell you something, Lance Russell. I haven't figured Eddie Marlin out yet. But I know one thing. I'm championship caliber. My record speaks for itself. Billy Travis, I'm looking for you. Jerry Lawler, I'm looking for you in that Southern title. I haven't figured Eddie Marlin out yet.
What is it that you think is that makes a great wrestler? You're making allusions to a lot of different things.
If it was looks, it would be the Hustler Rip Rogers. If the world of professional wrestling was based on talent and body and brains, it would be the Hustler Rip Rogers. But Lance Russell, it's not. You know, Lance Russell, the one word of professional wrestling is based on is politics. The whole world is based on politics.
Well, you have your right to your own opinion in there, but you still got to climb in that ring, and you got to make an impression.
Mark it, Lance Russell, about a minute and a half.
Okay, we're going to take a look at it. Let's go to the ring now. The Hustler, Rip Rogers, going against Jim Jameson.
All right. Bell sounds as Rip Rogers, the Hustler, removes the robes, steps through the ropes, and Jim Jameson already up there waiting for him. Jim wrestling out of Memphis, Tennessee. Rip Rogers out of Seymour, Indiana. Rogers has predicted a victory in a minute and a half here.
His dark beard and golden hair confuse you. That's like a 80s wrestling staple, the blonde hair and dark beard. What's up, Yeti Life? I agree. I mean, it was a really... The whole Vince hating Southerners, I just think they probably didn't want to show that because I don't think Vince would be honest about it. Like he would basically just have to say that that he had a bias against the South because he didn't like, the people that were running those territories. And I think it would just that he saw himself as being better than them. And I don't think he likes a lot of people. Like he would basically just have to say, like, I think I'm better than them. I think they're dumb rubes.
Jameson's head into the turnbuckle. Rip Rogers picks him up by the hair. Yeah, he says he's his. May be right. He jabbed him in the throat then. Rip Rogers drops down on him. Jim Jameson hasn't had a chance here so far. Rogers puts his head into the turnbuckle across the ring. Rogers powers him into the turnbuckle.
Rip Rogers, I know, was the trainer at OVW whenever Cornette first got down there. But I don't know that he was the trainer through like all of the like, because there was like a golden era of OVW with like Shelton Benjamin, Brock Lesnar, Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, Rico Constantino. I threw him in there just for fun, but I don't know if Rip Rogers was the trainer for those guys or if he was just there whenever Cornette first got there and they made some changes maybe when WWE got more involved. Your brothers were stoners or Star Wars fans. Wrestling was a part of my growing up. That makes sense, yeah. It's kind of a wrestling thing. They still do it a little bit.
Rogers taunting him. Picks him up. There's the body slam. Rip Rogers not going for a cover here. Having a good time. He feels like he's got things well in hand here. Through the ropes goes Jameson.
Yeah, we follow this 1986 wrestling run. We've been watching them all in order, like, well, either Friday or Saturday normally I think. We started in January of 86, and now we're at April, the end of April.
Thrown down onto the floor.
Boy, he splatted on that floor.
Boy,
down
he sure
there,
did.
too. Ooh.
Rogers says, I'm out here to help him back in the ring. That's all I'm doing out here.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, he did. Just threw him back in the ring.
Surprised us.
You think there's something deeper there? I mean, there could be, but the issue with it is unless he told somebody, like, I don't know that he would ever come out and be honest about it. He seems pretty, like, strategically minded.
Yeah. Rogers. Well, he claimed it was an open hand, but it was a double fist as he hit Jameson in the jaw with it. Drops down with his fist. He's choking him. Boy, Rogers using everything here. I'm not even sure it's necessary. He has really overpowered Jameson so far in this match. He's not going to make that minute-and-a-half prediction, though. We're coming up on the 2-minute mark. Upper arm across the back of the neck.
Rip Rogers trying to make an impression, I assume, on not only the assembled multitude, but on Eddie Marlin also. Rolls him into a Boston Crab full.
He uses the Boston Crab, I forgot.
Crab, doggone good submission hole, and that's it.
Well, it was 2 minutes, 20 seconds, the time on it, and Rip Rogers.
Come on, Rip. Let it go, buddy.
Refusing to let loose, and finally does.
He was asking for help for the referee to break the hold. I don't know if he needed that or not. The Boston Crab wraps it up, 2:20 the time.
Submission, the winner, Rip Rogers. More action in just a moment. Okay, back to the action right here on Channel 7's Championship Wrestling coming up in just a moment. Man, looking at that Wednesday night, there's plenty of action right there. And the main event is going to be a 6-man tag match. It's going to be having Bill Dundee, Buddy Landell, and Tony Falk going against the team of Jeff Jarrett, Joe LeDuc, and Jerry the King Lawler. That's all of it. That's just part of it that's going to be in there. You'll be seeing Dundee and Falk with Tony Falk on their side going against a mighty rugged two in LeDuc and Lawler.
Look at this look.
Oh, you talk about getting shafted, Lance Russell. We've been shafted from the word go, brother, and you're the guy that started it all. We slapped you. They're going to rub us out for 5 years. Jerry Lawler and the referee beat me in the Southern title match. I asked Eddie Marlin for another cage match. Anything without a stinking referee.
Do you think it's like, do you think it's that, like, he's just because he never got that, like, validation and, like, approval from his dad, that, like, it's just a never-ending cycle? Like, whoever it is, he just has to keep, if he's not, like, humiliating somebody or beating somebody or winning at some business thing, that, like, you know what I mean? Like, is it just gonna, do you think it's related specifically to, like, Crockett, or do you think it just that's in the same field, so it kind of looks like it's more that, but it's really just his, like, this void in him that, like, he can't fill, because the only person that could fill it is, like, you know, long gone.
And he says, no, Lawler wants to get a 6-man tag.
It would explain some of the, like, behavior from the text messages about, like, the stuff with Janelle Grant. Like, I feel like if he did have those insecurities about that, like, being, like, accepted and valid and, like, good enough, were, like, ran deep enough, like, that kind of stuff would probably pop up, I would think.
To hide behind Joe LeDuc, hide behind Jeff Jarrett, but he don't call it hiding, Russell. He says he's taking up the plight
How's it going, Randy?
of Jeff Jarrett, because it's a nature boy, and the superstar beats up on some kid. He wants to wear that crown, ride that big horse to the ring, and tell everybody how.
Like, he'd take pictures in the text. It said that he would take pictures, like, naked pictures of Janelle Grant, and show them to, like, people that were working on, like, the ring crew and the production staff, and be like, you know, look at the girl that I'm having sex with. Like, that kind of stuff is kind of strange, especially for, like, a boss showing pictures of his employee, like, bragging about it.
Great he is. Wrong, Lawler. You ain't fooling me, and you ain't fooling him. You are scared of me, Daddy. You don't want to put that belt up in a single match. Fine. Well, I'm just going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. He's taking the big Canuka out. Tony.
Like, his fantasies, too, were always about other people. It was never him doing anything, right? He would assign John Laurinaitis to do it, or allegedly the guy that traveled with him. Or, like, remember they said in the information that came out, said that he had, like, a collection of dildos, and he named them after wrestlers. So, like, even in that situation, like, he was fantasizing that it was, like, you know, Bret the Hitman Hart or whatever. I think he hated, yeah, I mean, I agree. That makes sense, that, because it kind of was like, wrestling was this family business, and it was a family business for him, but he didn't get that, like, close-knit, and his dad wouldn't let him wrestle, remember? And he really wanted to wrestle, so that could have been part of it too. Is it like, you know, he saw Greg Gagne and Mike Graham and Greg, you know, everybody else, even George Goulas, was it George Goulas was the son? Or was Nick Goulas the son? I can't remember. But anyway, like so many, like, you know, father-son things out there, and he missed out on it. We're talking about Vince McMahon, Randy.
Folks taking that kid Jeff Jarrett out, and I'm going to be saved the best for last, Lawler. That's a superstar against you. I'm beating your brain.
Do you think the biggest dildo, do you think he called it like Andre, like kept it kayfabe, or do you think he called it Virgil and kept it real?
Evansville wants to see that.
Well, let me tell you something, Lance Russell. I don't feel so bad for myself, but look at Bill Dundee's standpoint of view.
This is me speaking to anybody at any point during the day.
He helped build this company. He run Jerry Lawler out of town, okay? So you want to get things done, what do? We get right to the core to it. We beat Jarrett's son up. Now, if we wanted to be really bad criminals, we could have put him out permanently, but we're not like that, okay? All right, Lance Russell, admit it or not. Could we put him out or not, okay? So he gets Jerry Lawler, and he wants Joe LeDuc. Bill Dundee's got a personal grudge with Jerry Lawler. Tony Fox going to take care of Jeff Jarrett, and Joe LeDuc, I'm going to slap the smile right off your face, Daddy, Evansville, Indiana. Look for it.
Mentioned a little earlier in the opening, Dave, that we had a tape which was put together as a product of the Billy and Buddy.
I'll have to find, it's in the Tony Atlas book, which I own, but there's just this wild story about him and Virgil, and they each got a rat in a bed, and they're in like twin beds next in the same hotel room banging these girls. And Tony Atlas said that the sounds coming from Virgil's side of the room were like so intense that it like basically kind of emasculated Tony, and he and like he couldn't get into the rat because he said it like the sounds coming from the other side were like messing with his ego. But the way he describes it is like in that special Tony Atlas way with a bunch of like really weird descriptors and shit. He said it sounded like somebody was like, I don't remember if he said he sounded like somebody was like slapping a flip-flop against a concrete wall or something, like, or on the sidewalk or something.
In terms of some of the matches that took place specifically in Memphis, Tennessee.
All right, we'll see you later, He-Man.
They wanted to do a little review. Let's take a listen to Landell and Dundee.
You know, but the last time we invited the people up to this video room was when we sat over here and we watched the
Oh, hell yeah. They're in the production studio now?
tape of me beating Big Red Reese, a big fat nothing, and the only people that liked that was you and me and all them other big fat people out there, because they could see a big fat athlete, and he's gone. Now, to top it all off, Jerry Lawler, the Southern champion,
I've heard of some of it, yeah, on some of the shoot interviews.
told everybody I'm a fighting champion. Now, Gaddafi, everybody knows who Muammar Gaddafi is. He's an idiot, and he's going to try to take over the world, and he can't whoop America, and everybody knows that. And they had the Barbarian flying in. They showed a special on the guy's big, and he's bad, and he's a big old athlete, but I don't think he can whip me and you, Budrow. And Lawler's going to wrestle him. So the guys go to fly through Canada, and there's a bomb scare on the thing. They land the airplane, the guy going to get off, and the plane comes about 3 hours late. So Eddie Marlin comes out.
You're going to go to the grocery store and talk to, like, Buddy Landell? You should. I think you should talk to everybody like Buddy Landell does. Yeah, he's got that huge belt buckle.
Out there, he says, Jerry, what are we going to do? You got to wrestle somebody. He says, I know what
He's like, you can't beat America. Dude, you're from Australia, brother.
we'll do, Jerry. We'll take all the wrestlers that's here on the card tonight, take them into the ring, and the fans can pick out who they want to see you wrestle, right? So,
Was it something that we watched on stream recently where someone was really going in on Australia and saying that, like, talking about how, that wasn't a Jimmy thing, was it? Where somebody was, like, really going off on Australia and, like, talking about how it was, like, filled with criminals and shit like that. But I can't remember who was saying that. Oh, my God, that's terrible. That's, you know what? As bad as that is, it's still better than Johnny Valentine, who would, like, hide shit in hotel rooms. What's wrong with these guys?
Jerry Lawler's in the dressing room, and he says, yeah, okay. But he forgets about one thing. The superstars on the card. So when I get down there, he gets the microphone. He declares to the whole wide world, Budrow, He ain't going to wrestle me. He comes up with the 30-day clause. He says, oh, no. Hey, Dundee, I ain't wrestling you. Not that I'm scared of you, mind you, but there's a 30-day clause.
Bill Dundee, Randy. He's Australian.
And I don't have to wrestle you. You was scared to death, Lawler. So I said, that's fine. You don't want me to have your belt, Lawler? Well, my good friend Budrow here is overwhelmingly going to be picked. What happens? They have a little contest. It's as bogus as a nose in your face, Russell, because you was the guy that got to do the picking. And he's the guy that started this whole thing in the first place. So it gets all the way down, the noise you make, you boo, you applaud, and whatever. And it kind of gets down, now. It's a 60-40 deal on Tony Falk and the other true blonde of the wrestling business, the only nature boy in the wrestling business, and they're all clapping and they want to see the nature
This is me and Kitchen Man Dan whenever we get Fusion Studios built.
boy against Jerry Lawler. But who's the judge? Lance Russell. So he picks. He says, oh, no. Lawler runs over and he whispers, oh, yeah, and I know you think we're bragging and we're lying to you. Well, we ain't, because we got it all on tape, folks. It was concocted from the start, from Lance Russell to Jerry Lawler, that he didn't want to wrestle me, and he didn't want to wrestle the Nature Boy, and we got it all on tape. Now, it's overwhelming because we got it, and you'll see him right here in black and white, folks, or in color, or whatever little TV you got. If some of you rednecks still got black and white, that's up to you. Well, right here in this video room, Daddy, we have got a tape of it. Jerry Lawler was scared of me, and he was scared of the Nature Boy, and Lance Russell, mind you, the guy at Budrow slaps or I slap, will be put out of the wrestling business in Memphis or all around this area for 5 years, was the judge. Now, you think that's fair? Oh, and I know what you say. No, they're sitting there lying. Well, we ain't lying, folks. It's right here. Just come on with me, Mr. Cameraman, and zoom in on this monitor right here, and we'll show it to you.
Only whenever we zoom in, instead of instead of showing wrestling, it'll show Ben trying to get the echo off the iPad at OPC Don's friend's house. Do I ever download streams? You're working on a video and have a few I'm looking for. No, not really. Not honestly, no. I think I have a few. The main stuff that I would have recorded is not Grace related. It's like Orbiter related, like people that delete their streams all the time. I don't keep a lot of Grace streams because normally she's pretty good about keeping them up, but she's kind of cucking the archive at the moment. Joe Shabatoni is chomping at the bit for me to review the Boyfriend Experience arc, but
There were, whoa, look at Lawler go at Falk. Over the shoulder, Tony zapped with that big right hand of Lawler. Again, as his head popped off the top turnbuckle. At least approaching.
oh my God, you know what I do have though? I have a random stream from, remember when they had like 2 or 3 days when they were at that place where they ended up getting in trouble? I've got one of those, the entire stream recorded, but I don't remember which one it is.
It and not trying to brutalize.
Something happens in that stream. I can't remember what it is. I'll have to dust it off.
Falk. He's hot now. Slashes him with that belt. Picks Falk up. Dumps him down hard in the middle of the ring. Lawler to the ring rope. Drops.
Well, there you have it, folks. We're not saying that a title match never took place, and we ain't selling Tony Falk short, because Tony's just like Jeff Jarrett. He's trying to get his first win. Now, we like Tony, and a lot of people out there probably like Jeff Jarrett, but we're not selling him short. But that match should never take place because it was concocted by Lance Russell, Eddie Marlin, and the whole stinking Jarrett clan, and especially you, Lawler, and it just showed what you are, a bogus coward champion. Right, Budrow?
Well, Bill, let me just tell you something. See, what everybody wants to know what Jerry Lawler whispered in Lance Russell's ear. Well, when we were both out there, the first thing he whispered in his ear was, man, I can't take another extended vacation. If I wrestle at Dundee, I'm going to be not only out of a...
We could probably figure out how to get a hold of Tony Falk. He's 63 years old. It looks like he still wrestles. Yeah, let me invest a little time into trying to figure it out. I need to get that one girl too, Ansley Adams, that we really liked her body cam footage. But I'll work on Tony Falk. Should be easier. I should just be able to message him on I should be able to message him on like Twitter or something. But Ainsley Adams doesn't reply to anybody except on OnlyFans, so I'm just gonna cut her. I'm gonna make a clip of me reviewing her video and then tag her on YouTube, and hopefully that'll be enough to maybe get her attention. I did a video on the Dudley Mass W. That's the time frame you're looking for. Yeah, I honestly don't have much of a Grace archive. Thorpe Alert is pretty much my archive. I have some stuff that I clipped or I recorded and got high and forgot about, but primarily most of my stuff is from Grace orbiters that delete their streams.
But I'm going to be out of here again,
or like VCs that people got mad at or like asked me after the fact not to release.
Can't wrestle that Landell because God Almighty and everybody knows that he'll beat me. So Jerry Lawler, to save face with the people, Bill, he's sitting back there in the dressing room with his head and his tail between his legs, and he's going, oh my gosh, I have just exposed myself not only to the people in Memphis, but it's on tape, my God, to the whole world. What do I do now? So we're out there and we're beating Joe LeDuc and Jeff Jarrett's brains in. So Jerry Lawler, he's saying, I know what I can do. When they're out of breath and they got their backs turned, I can jump in the ring and become the savior again. Can you believe it?
Well, when I say I don't have an archive, I do have an archive of, I think, every time Grace has rolled cigarettes for the past 6 months. That's about it.
You just punch some of this up, Bill, and to show the people really what Jerry Lawler's really like.
VP Glory Hole recap? I don't think I can. I think I get in trouble for that.
Here's Lawler into the ring. Nails Landell, nails Dundee, catches Tony Falk.
Although Grace reviewed Ruby's audio, right? He'd review the audio.
Well, Bud, like we keep saying before, a lot of people say we was bragging, but we wasn't bragging because it's right here on film. Now, Jerry Lawler, man, I'm telling you, man, you have exposed yourself to the whole world of what a coward you are. So we got to take our hat off to that, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Because like a lot of things.
She met up with Purple last night, and he was in the car while she was doing something, and he was like talking to Chad about Abby, and he concocted this plan that he was going to hold Abby hostage, and Chat was like gassing him up to just take off in the car with the dog, and then right as he started to buy into it, like Vegan came back in the car and he's like, oh, too late.
Things that's got to come out of the closet, Daddy, and you have. We thought he was a closet coward, but not you, Lawler. You did it all on film, Jack. So everybody in the whole wide world knows exactly what you are, and what you are, Daddy, is scared of the nature boy and the superstar.
Well, as usual, most of the things that Landell and Dundee say don't make a whole lot of sense, and that was no exception right there. They just have to simply keep trying to cover up all of the things that are...
Oh, I thought he was dressed like an astronaut at first. Is he fresh off the set of Star Wars? What an outfit.
...happening to them. Jerry.
Lance, good to see you. Listen, I just want to come out here. You know, I sit back in the back, and I watch all this garbage on him.
I'm not sure when she did it. She did it's like a six-person... It's like a six-person thing. So hey, no matter what you think about it, you cannot argue with VP's stamina.
Monitor there, and I hear Bill Dundee and Buddy Landell telling their version of the story. Well, I had a little forewarning of this. Of course, all the people don't realize though that we have a couple of guys that work. They work real hard through the week, and they do all the taping of the wrestling matches down on Monday nights and throughout the week. And they put these films together. One of them is Ken Parnell, the other is Randy West. And Randy West gave me a call, and he said, look, Bill Dundee and Buddy Landell came over to his house, and they went through all the films of the matches that took place down there at the Coliseum. And they had him edit together their little version of what they said took place. But now anybody that wasn't there and that are just watching this on television now, I mean, they made it look very believable. They made it look convincing that that's what took place, that I was scared of Dundee, that I didn't want to wrestle him. Well, let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you what really took place down there. It's true, the first part of the story, the Barbarian didn't show up. For what reason, I don't know. All we know is that they said his plane was going to be 3 hours late. Well, whatever, he wasn't there. So Eddie Marlin came to me and he said, look, we're going to line up all the wrestlers. I thought this was a great idea. We line up all of the wrestlers. We'll let the fans decide who you're going to wrestle. I said, that's great. That's fine. But I said, with one exception. I am not going to give Bill Dundee a title shot after the way he made me wait for over 4 months before I could get a shot at the Southern Heavyweight Championship. I'm not going to give Bill Dundee a title shot within 1 week.
And we started, if you go back to the very beginning of the old school wrestling streams, we started right as he was like leaving town. So he had lost the match to Dundee. And then remember Dundee tried to get his VHS tape banned so he couldn't sell it.
Of winning it from me, right?
Jerry, and I can verify you said that when it first came up before you ever got out to the ring or anything.
Do you want to we should do a wrestling stream where we watch something that's like an hour long or like 45 minutes long that we know is safe so that we can have like a good stream. And then we should just watch that Jamie Dundee stream and just see if they take it down. Like, it's such a good shoot interview. I hate to not at least try to review it.
That's exactly right. And I also said, Dundee, I told him, I looked him right in the eyes and I said,
Jamie Dundee is almost in like Frank Hassel mode in that interview. He keeps putting his hands all over Sean Oliver.
I said, I'll be glad to wrestle you right here in front of everybody,
right.
but not for the belt.
That's right.
That's when Dundee refused. He turned tail and went to the dressing room, and then the contest began to see who the people wanted me to wrestle. And I guess everybody had in the back of their mind that they knew that this jerk Tony Falk was the man who helped Dundee win that loser leave town match.
Excuse me, Jerry? You think Tony Falk is a jerk?
So they wanted to see me get revenge on Falk. Well, that's
Could you imagine if we could get Tony Falk on panel?
exactly what happened. They didn't cheer when they put their hand over Buddy Landell. Nobody wanted to see me wrestle Buddy Landell. They wanted Tony Falk, and that's exactly what happened. So what we've got right now, I've got a little piece of film that Randy West sent down, and you're going to see, as they say sometimes, the rest of the story, if we can run that right now.
This is what happened. Lawler could get the referee's attention. Falk had attacked him, and
Oh my God, this is so great.
he pounded him with that belt wrapped around his hand.
See, we don't get to see all of these, but at least sometimes we get to see like a little bit of them.
And now he's got him choked.
Is this a bunkhouse match? Why is Tony Falk wearing his jeans?
You know, Randy, I think...
Hey, Randy, kayfabe commentaries, if you go to, if you search for, I think it's Best of KC Vault, there's a shit ton of free, amazing wrestling shoot interviews and like retrospectives, and they rotate what's free. But if you pay for a membership, you get access to all of it. But like either way, like if you're patient enough, like everything cycles through like for free. But it's some of the best like shoot interviews, and like they sit King Kong Bundy down and just ask him a bunch of questions about WrestleMania 2, the match with Hulk Hogan, stuff like that. Like they have Terry Funk and they had Bruno Sammartino and Harley Race like debate NWA versus WWF. Like it's a lot of really interesting content.
I think Falk figures it this way. If he gets disqualified, he doesn't care because he didn't really want to go anyhow. And so he's just pulling out all the stops on Lawler.
He just made him mad, Lancer. The strap comes down, and I wouldn't
Those are such good punches. Lawler had great punches.
want to be in Tony Falk's shoes right now for anything in the world.
Scratch the comment that I made about Lawler at least approaching it and not trying to brutalize Falk. He's hot now. Slashes him with that belt, picks Falk up, dumps him down hard in the middle of the ring. Lawler to the ring rope, drops down with a big right hand. Uh-oh, here comes Dundee and Landell.
The Jamie Dundee interview with Sean Oliver on Kayfabe Commentaries. When you watch it, you're like, I can't believe they released this, but I honestly think they released it for legal purposes to protect themselves in case Jamie Dundee made up any stories. It's such a crazy, crazy, crazy interview.
Lawler's pulled off. It'll be a disqualification. 5 minutes and 50.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing is that they do like you have a limited time to watch them, but at the same time, like they put it way in advance, so you know everything that's coming out like for a long time and when it's gonna come out of the vault. So if there's something that you really want to watch, you can kind of at least get an idea of when it might be available for free.
15 seconds. Landell and Dundee coming in. Lawler wins it by disqualification, but Dundee and
Sean Oliver also hosts Click This, the podcast with Kevin Nash.
Landell stomp it away on Lawler. Referee trying to get...
Like, kayfabe commentaries not only asks the questions that stuff that we talk about, like the weird shit and the rats and the drugs, but like they kind of focus on it. The You Shoot series is kind of like that. It's just like an Ask Me Anything, so it's all kinds of crazy questions. Everybody always asks, whoever the guest is, they always ask him how big Batista's dick is.
Ooh, boy. Trying to get Landell out of there. Here comes Tony Falk. Slips a belt around Jeff Jarrett's neck. Gonna be a disqualification. LeDuc and Jeff Jarrett will win.
And while I love kayfabe commentaries, but honestly, if there's something that's in the vault that you want to see that's not free, like it's YouTube, like that's you can get an idea of what you might want to watch, even if it's not like free through KC. Best of KC Vault.
12 minutes, 13
Okay, Lance, so what we're looking at right here is the later match in which Joe LeDuc and Jeff Jarrett were going against Dundee and Landell. See, this are the two things they failed to mention. They failed to mention that they ran in on my match with Falk, and that Tony Falk then ran in on this match here, and that's the only reason that I came in, as you're going to see
Dundee
here.
and Landell, both on Joe LeDuc. Joe got his belt off, but Landell...
Tony Falk is really involved in a high-level storyline here. He's involved in, like, putting a pretty big stomp in on Jerry Lawler. Wow.
Landell gets it around his neck. Referee Jerry Calhoun is down, while Falk continues to choke Jerry Jarrett. Here's Lawler into the ring. Nails Landell, nails Dundee, catches Tony Falk.
Well, that, as I said, Lance, is the rest of the story. As I said, they failed to mention that they ran in on my match and that Tony Falk ran in on the match with Jeff Jarrett and Joe LeDuc. Let me just say this, Dundee, you and Landell both. You know, and all of the people know, and I know, that you are a couple of low-life, stinking, slimy liars. The truth ain't in you. You would tell a lie when the truth would do better. You don't want to ever come out here and say anything that would be, you know, that would be the truth. All you want to do is tell a lie. You talk about Jeff Jarrett. You talk about the title situation. Dundee, you're no more a champion, and you're no more a people's champion. You're the worst champion that has ever worn the Southern Heavyweight Championship belt, and that's why you're not going to get another title shot as far as I'm concerned. And if you think I'm afraid of you, and if you think you can make these people out here believe that I'm afraid of you, you got another thing coming, punk. Because you have never seen the day that the king is afraid of you or Landell. Anytime, any place, anywhere you want me, brother. Believe me, I'm not hard to find. Dundee and Landell, I'm going to be looking you up, and I'm going to show you. And I'm going to prove to you and everybody else just what liars you are. I'm going to make a believer out of you, punk.
Okay, Jerry the King Lawler, back in just a moment. Of your time. First, to tell you that on Sunday, May the 4th in Versailles, Indiana, Championship Wrestling coming your way with an outstanding group of wrestlers, and by golly, you'll want to make your plans to be out there Sunday, May the 4th, Versailles, Indiana. Sunday, May the 18th, down the road, Fort Knox. Be looking forward to bringing Championship Wrestling in there. Now let's take a look at Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum. I like it. 6 big matches on a full card. Yamamoto against the Invader. Pat Tanaka against Pat Rose. Paul Diamond will be facing the Hustler Rip Rogers, and then we're talking about Billy Travis and Phil Hickerson, little grudge tag match against J.D. Costello's Mod Squad. It'll be a bull.
Oh no, the big bald guy. It was back teaming up with Billy Travis.
Whip on the pole match. You'll want to see that one. Abdul Gagafi is going to be trying to get up the pole to get Dutch Mantel, and then the final event is going to be Bill Dundee, Buddy Landell, and Tony Falk going against the team of Jerry Lawler, Joe LeDuc, and Jeff Jarrett. All of that coming up.
I mean, that's a pretty good card. The opening matches or whatever, but I mean, that overall is a really strong card.
Wednesday night, Evansville. Okay, we're about ready to go with the next big one coming out.
Used to work with a lady, and her husband was Batista's cousin. He was in her wedding, showed you, oh, cool, showed you family photos. That's awesome. But they didn't know how big his dick was.
Out right now.
We could finally get that information to Sean Oliver. He's been wanting to know for like 30 years now.
Is the Mod Squad, Spike and Basher, along with Tony Falk.
Yes, Lance Russell, I have some sad news today. You may know that the last week J.D. Costello hasn't been able to be with his mod squad.
I know he had missed some matches, yes.
That's right. I tell you why, Lance Russell. His mother in New Orleans became very ill about a week and a half ago, and they requested that J.D. come there and be by her side. Well, this Friday she passed away.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
That's sad. I know how that is. And he asked me, he called me on the phone and said, Tony, would you go out with my mod squad and look after him in my absence until I return? He's got to settle the estate. From what I understand, that's a pretty big estate, so he may be there, whatever time it takes. But he asked me, and I said, sure, I don't mind it at all. So right now, I'm going to be with the mod squad.
You're going to be in the corner of the mod squad. Okay, you got a match coming up, Spike.
What a classy guy. He's in the middle of his own issues with Jerry Lawler, like one of the best wrestlers in the territory. But he's going to put all that aside to step in and mentor the mod squad. Gay bikers, yes. Not gay bikers. Gay police officers who were fired from the police force for using excessive force. Your dad got beat up by either Animal or Hawk? That's not surprising. They were like bouncers in Minneapolis at like some of the kind of shiftiest bars.
Ike and Basher, the mod squad. Southern Tag Team Champions Tony Falk standing in for J.D. Costello. Bell time as the jackets and helmets come off.
Oh, this guy weirds me out, man. Frank Morrell. I don't know.
We're about ready for the action.
He has cryptid qualities, and that's frightening to me.
Okay, here we go. Going against Morrell and Haskins.
All right, Frank Morrell starting for his team. Frank weighing in at about 260 pounds. And the mod squad. Both of these guys big.
Hey, I don't know if I didn't really talk about this, but I just want to take a minute. Last night, Grace did like the LOLCal rejects and had it lead. She sent all of her viewers over to LOLCal Live when it started. So she was running this like super high energy thing, and it went right into LOLCal Live announcing a death. So like it went straight from Grace to like the announcement that someone had passed away. It was like one of the most awkward transitions.
Spike and Basher.
You were assaulted by... No, not Dwayne Gill. No. He was one of the good guys, I thought.
Interesting team of Morrell and Haskins. Both of them got good size. Frank, of course, a big fella.
What about... Do you remember... This might be too much of a deep cut. It's me. But do you remember Mario Mancini? The old job guy. He's got a YouTube channel now that's actually got a little bit of traction, but I've seen him argue with people in the comments section.
At about 250, and he is a rough and tough son of a gun. Wrestled for years.
Son of a gun.
As the spoiler, and whipped a lot of bodies, and he doesn't mind doing it if that's what it takes.
Did he say on a lot of Molly?
He's over to the corner now for the tag on his partner, young David Haskins.
Yes, she sent people over to Keemstream, and it was like, she waited, though, until their song was over, which if she would have just done it and let the song play, it would have been so much less awkward. But she sent it literally directly into a death announcement and then Wings of Redemption crying. Mario's got some good... Yeah, absolutely. Mario is an interesting guy. That's why I think it's... I like that he argues with people in the comments.
Haskins was got to feel glad he's got a partner of Frank Morrell's experience as he goes against these guys here. Good drop kick.
Yes, sir.
Nice one by Haskins.
Yeah, Priscilla, I remember I've watched Wings pretty much like off and on his entire career. More so though since he because his streams are kind of boring to sit through, but yeah, I remember the Priscilla arc, and then I remember the stuff on LolCal Live where they let her come on a couple times, I think in Roast Jordy.
A little leapfrog, drop kick, bars that arm, and David Haskins kind of inspired by Frank as Billy Travis was.
My internet's dropping a little bit. Hang with me. I'm back up in the yellow at least.
Whoa, a little too quick.
Yeah, he went for that drop kick, and the Mod Squad helping each other out. Haskins missed it by a mile. Boy, how many times have we seen a missed drop kick turn the tide in a match?
Turn the entire situation around. Absolutely right. Here's Frank Morrell, who comes in and...
I think if Keem isn't involved in this show, the Thorpes have broken Keemstar. Why on earth would he have a... I mean, his meltdowns over Grace are literally lolcow meltdowns. I mean, he completely loses it. If he's not involved with it, he's sure doing the absolute worst things you could do to, like, dissuade someone from thinking that you're involved with it. Oh, I'm going to prove that I'm so mad at Grace Thorpe that I'm going to ban everybody from her server, and then at the end of the show, I'm going to say, mods, unban everybody that's been banned in the last 24 hours. Like, come on, dude. It seems really weird if this is his strategy, is to just make every show about Grace. Like, but then talk about how he's not going to take the bait. I think that's the most interesting thing, is that if they are just doing this independently, Keem is handling it in like every worst possible way.
Grabs the Mod Squad, Spike and Basher. Now Falk jumps up on the ring apron, and from behind, Morrell nailed by Basher,
and man, LolCow Court, come on, LolCow Court. Where are you going to put LolCow Court? After LolCow Rewind? So now you're going to have your recap show in the middle of your programming block? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, you're going to move it? Oh, well, your audience is used to the flow of your shows as it is. Like, LolCow Court is so dumb. What is even going to be on there? Like, it's just so dumb. Why wouldn't you take LolCow Queens, okay? Invest time in it, invest resources in it, build it to where it can stand as its own show, and then think about making another show. I mean, is this whole thing is this all a fucking, like, psyop? There's no way that if Keemstar is a multimillionaire, that he's running these shows this way. He's just picking random people from the Discord to handle elements of this show that's bringing in, I mean, tens of thousands of dollars a month, and I don't understand it. Like, nothing is ever done. The dockets are always a mess. Everything is half-assed on the show. Like, it's hard for me to believe that it isn't just like some kind of a weird social experiment to see how bad can you make a show and people will still watch it. And they figured out on LolCal Live that, like, we've made this show as bad as we can and people are still watching it. Let's make an even worse show. Let's make LolCal Queens. And when people say that show's the worst show ever, let's make LolCal Rewind and then LolCal Court. I did see one, though. There's another knockoff one. I saw it in the Discord. Somebody posted it. It was LolCal Vibes. I'm thinking about trying out.
Spike ripping away at him as he had a change.
Like, who looks at LolCal Court and says, fucking finally somebody did it? LolCal Court. That's what we've all been waiting for. I can't wait to see Glammy Lammy and Foot Girl adjudicate cases in front of Discord mod Ken and it be about whether purple hair girl leaked somebody's nudes, or if Becky Boop is, got ass fungus.
On his hand, did he, Dave?
He had a chain wrapped around his knuckles.
EFD's sorry, I ranted there for a minute. EFD's chair was in the chat the other day. I posted a clip of him and Matt right after the chair fornication, when Matt was still kind of fucking with him about it.
Boy, I'll tell you, he popped him open, too. I'm looking at the blood on Spike where he's been pounded on Frank Morrell, and his chest is covered with it. He had a chain on his hand.
And again, it's just a preference thing, but I don't watch YouTube to see people pour coffee creamer on their head. I don't understand that. I don't want to see a show that's basically a telethon. I want to see... I understand that, asking for money and asking for support is inherent to this type of content creation, but I don't want the entire show to feel like it's just one big beg fest to get to see who can eat cat food and who can do... I want to see content. I don't want to see people eating cat food. Am I crazy for that? I don't care if Boogie drinks expired coffee creamer. Who gives a shit?
And when Morrell came in, helping out his partner when they were double teamed.
People donated thousands of dollars. Literally, I'm not joking. Go back and watch the stream. People donated thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars to get Becky fired multiple times, and they never fired her. I don't understand the people sending money to the show, but I'm not bad-mouthing them. It's people can do anything they want to with their money. I just don't understand why a show that literally never delivers on its promises keeps getting this kind of money. Fucking fake tattoo, that tattoo. I mean, no one can argue that tattoo is real. Come on, man.
And Falk jumped up on the ring apron. Frank Morrell came ripping across, and boy, I'll tell you what.
Oh, is that who was on the show last night, Dan? I'll have to check that out. No, we need to make King TL is like the Rusty the bailiff, and we'll get Jimmy to be the judge. He seems pretty grounded.
But the Mod Squad didn't take them long to pull that chain out and start pounding on him. Morrell trying to battle his way back.
You should just have 8 hours of the lol cows taking phone calls while chemo's Jared. Yeah, isn't that what it is? I know there's a market for it. I know there are people who like the old school YouTube stuff, but week after week after week after week, it's just like they were trying to get that girl last night, Dirty Dalish, to eat cat food, and it's who wants to see that? I don't know who wants to see that. It doesn't make sense to me. I want to see content. I want to see funny shit. I want to see interesting social dynamics. I don't want to see, people pouring a bunch of shit in a bucket and then dumping it on themselves. I don't understand that.
Spike in the ring. Basher was trying to help from outside when they were over in the corner. But Frank...
I know that there's a car crash factor to seeing somebody shave their eyebrows off, but who cares? At the end of the day, big deal. I'm never going to want to see the clip of Tina shaving her eyebrows off again, ever. I'm never going to want to see that. I'm going to want to see the OPC Don crime press conference probably 100 times between now and the end of time.
Taking a wild swing, his forehead cut open.
Tag on Basher.
Here's a perfect example of how the Lolcast show works. They don't get any donations for a while. Keemstar says, hey, fuck this specific viewer who usually donates $100, and then that guy donates $100. And then Keem goes, oh, well, that worked. Let's badmouth this other guy. So they say that guy sucks, and that guy sends them $100. That happens over and over again. And again, people can spend their money however they want to. I just, as a viewer, I don't understand it. I don't understand when there's no content being made why you're giving money. But then I also don't understand, why you would want to give $100 when a guy was complaining that there weren't enough donations coming in, and then like says, "Fuck you! Why would you send him $100 just to be part of to be in on it?" I guess, I don't know, to feel like you're part of it.
And Spike has done his damage, turns him over to his partner, Morrell. The referee trying to protect him over there on the side, and David Haskins comes in and attacks the Mod Squad. Basher, Tony Falk comes in, and that's...
Like, is that ultimately what Keemstar has been able to do more than anything else? Is he's been able to kind of create a perfect storm of like parasocial involvement where people really, he's basically the store manager at Walmart, getting everybody excited. You know, we're all working, but we're part of a family. It's not a job. It says we're all a family here. I think he's fostered that kind of environment really well, but I just don't think the content. But again, though, if you have that, you don't need the content, I guess, as long as the money comes in.
It's going to be a disqualification as Falk pile drives David Haskins, while the other two, they got that chain back out and ripping on Frank Morrell.
They got Falk with another pile driver on David Haskins. When Falk jumped in the ring, that was disqualification right there, so the Mod Squad's going to lose it. But they're really doing some damage. Now they're choking Morrell, pounding him with that chain wrapped around their wrist.
Mod Squad, insane stuff to jump on somebody and pound them with a chain, and got three of them going at him. Falk has already gotten them disqualified, and he comes over, and he's kicking away on Morrell. Oh, man. Here comes Billy Travis. Watch Mantel. Travis Mantel.
Look at Jeff Jarrett. Oh, my gosh.
Mantel, Jeff Jarrett out. The Mod Squad take off. Big Joe LeDuc. Eddie Marlin out. And Frank Morrell is flaked out in that ring. Good night. They pound on him. Look at that head. He is covered with blood, Dave. They had that chain, had him down, choking him and pounding him with a chain at the same time. And now they're trying to get him out. I'll tell you, best thing we can do, the winners
are going to be Frank Morrell and David Haskins by disqualification.
Oh, also, Ruby was shaming me in the chat yesterday in the LOLCOW live chat. I was super high watching, and there was a segment where people in the chat were really going wild, like against to like saying that like Keemstar was afraid of Ben and Grace. And I was putting like Keemstar fears the daddy pill, and Ruby was telling me that I was willfully ignoring Ben's evil or something like that. Ruby, come on, in the LOLCOW live chat, come on.
Okay, they're taking Frank back to see if they can work on him, get him in a little better.
That's the haunted house, Ruby. We were all in the haunted house. We're supposed to be having fun. We're not trying to do rocket science or deep psychology in the LOLCOW live chat.
Shape. We'll take time out. We'll be back in just a moment.
Slap nuts.
I hope you're really proud of yourself, and you're part of that situation with Frank Morrell there. No excuse in that kind of thing, Tony.
Let me tell you something, Lance Russell. Frank Morrell got exactly what he deserved.
He's got the worst outfit of anybody on the show. Tony Falk's outfit is just atrocious.
Shut up, let me tell you something. He had no business trying to rub them Mad Squad's face in a mat, and he got exactly what he deserved. But let me tell you something else. You got this punk, Jeff Jarrett. I can't wait to get my hands on him. And Jarrett, the King Lawler, you geek, you. I can't wait to get my hands on you. And Joe LeDuc, he's a madman. He should be somewhere in a nut house. He shouldn't be allowed to wrestle. He's crazy. But, I've been real busy looking after Gaddafi and...
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. It was just a bunch of us people that watch Grace that were just typing bullshit in the chat, all in caps, just like having fun. And Ruby's in there like tone policing everybody. It's like, Ruby, this isn't the breakdown. We're in the moment here. We're living in the moment.
The mod squad now. My hands are full, but I know, Lance Russell, I can handle the job. I know I can. But Dutch Mantel, if you think for 1 minute you're going to be able to go through Abdul Gaddafi, brother, you got another thing coming. But this is a Libyan warrior, and he's going to chew you up and spit you out, Dutch Mantel.
Well, the Dutchman has had a lot of tough opponents, and
Oh, man, he ain't fucking around. Hell yeah.
come on, Billy.
I like this a lot. I like this a lot. I was wondering how they were going to pay off the making Frank Morrell bleed. This is really good. Like, this gives Billy, like, a little bit of grit. Like, he's not just some, you know, dipshit guy. Dipshit good guy.
Gaddafi nails Travis from behind, and there, Billy, there's a time. Oh. Uh-oh. We need some help. Billy's in trouble here. Falk and Gaddafi, both of them, stomping away on Billy Travis.
You know what else was funny? Whenever Grace was like, you know, all these people who were banned from LOLCOW Live, they're all welcome here. And she was reading them, and when she got to RD, Ben goes, not him. He's not welcome here. And she's like, okay.
Falk pounded at him. Travis bleeding now where they busted him open. Here comes the Dutchman. Dutch peels Falk out of there and goes after Gaddafi.
I mean, I like it. I think this is really good long-term booking. I was kind of almost tuning out on Billy Travis, but now I feel like I'm kind of back in because he showed a little bit of grit. And now, like, I like the fact that they had him get beat up because, like, it's showing he's not just an overnight, you know, he's not just going to rise up overnight. Like, all this slow burn training and the story with Frank are starting to pay off. Did you see Mr. Deadman posted a new video about, I can't remember what it was about. Oh, it was about the show last night, I think. I think he posted it late last night. What's the deal with, I don't know anything about Mr. Deadman. It looks like he's drunk in these videos where he's just like, Merry Christmas, Grace Thorpe, or he put a picture of Grace with like an L on her forehead and made a video.
Once again, Mantel. He needs cleaning up, Dutch. Oh, well, tell you what, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Tony Falk deserved more than that for what he's been involved in just a short time. And this guy irritates me so much in the fact that
I don't think he's involved with it either. I mean, just if he is, it's pretty nuts. But putting it on right before Keemstar's show and feeding her viewers to him, like, it's just his reaction to it is so wild. Like, it's just the complete wrong thing to do, in my opinion, if you want to get rid of them, like, get out of their crosshairs.
But here's a guy who's struggling to try to win his first match, and he acts like he's the biggest champion and promoter and big dealer in the country. Coming out right now, The Undertaker. Let's get ready to go.
So he kind of comments on other creators too, not just Grace.
The ring, baby.
All right, got a...
Well, here we go. As promised from the thumbnail, Dutch Mantel versus The Undertaker.
One fall, 15-minute time limit match coming up here. That's The Undertaker. You can barely see him over on the left of the screen. And here comes back Dutch Mantel. Dutch out here just a moment ago to help out
yeah.
Travis. And now he's in here for the match officially. One fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee Jerry Calhoun is telling The Undertaker, come on, got to lose the robe now. He's wrestling under the mask. And the Dutchman takes off the sweatshirt, and we're ready to go. Undertaker we have seen before. He is part of a tag team that was in here a few months ago, the Undertakers, plural.
I think he's the bigger of the two Undertakers.
He is indeed.
He's a good-sized son of a gun, I'll tell you. Big, strapping guy.
He's going against a guy who also wears black tights and doesn't back up from anybody, Dutch Mantel. And the Undertaker out of the ring.
I don't know what Dutch is saying something to the crowd.
I couldn't hear what he said, but he said something to the crowd, and they liked it, whatever it was he said.
Well, he's...
Oh, yeah, I see. He said already one mask has come off today, and there may be another one off before this match is over.
Dutch is in a great frame of mind. Boy, he got tuned up with that little skirmish with Falk and Gaddafi. And you don't have to do much tuning to get Dutch on ready, I'll tell you that.
Hold the phone. That's not the Undertaker. Yep.
He is sitting on ready most of the time.
I wonder how... I'm going to look it up and see how much Vince paid these guys for the name.
And when it comes to taking care of his business, and he grabs the Undertaker's arm, twists it around.
He pounds it hard, and the Undertaker...
Still going after that?
Yeah, he was still going after that mask, and the Undertaker slipped out of the ring to try to make sure the mask did not come off.
What was that big voice I heard?
I don't know.
We had a little acoustical reverberations going on in here.
So we were at a Coliseum or Rupp Arena or the Gardens or somewhere there for a minute.
Mantel! A little reverberation going on inside the head of the Undertaker as the Dutchman going after that mask. The referee says, leave the mask alone, Dutch, and wrestle the man.
You know, Dutch is keeping him distracted by going after that mask, so it's good strategy.
You don't think he paid him anything? I thought he did. Keem does seem a little lost. He's completely lost, dude. If this is real, if what we're witnessing by Keemstar is actually how he thinks he should handle the Thorpes, and if the directions of these shows are real, then this all isn't some elaborate psyop. Like, I'm mind blown. Like, we're just seeing, like, I don't know. But then it's so bizarre. But then you have that group of people that are financially supporting it, like donating hundreds of dollars like every show. So there's no, I don't know. I mean, I guess if things are going off the rails, but like everything is still going well financially, like I guess it doesn't really matter to somebody like Keemstar.
I'm not sure Dutch needs it. Well, maybe.
I had always heard, Ed, that he did pay him something. But there's so much stuff about The Undertaker, it's hard to Google. If you look up Undertaker Tag Team, it brings up, like, Brothers of Destruction for, like, 1,000,000 pages.
Maybe I better rethink that statement there. The Undertaker coming in with a right hand. He wears a glove on the right hand, and he's pounding Dutch about the forehead with it right now. Brings the foot up. Undertaker.
I mean, if you watched Lol Cow Queens last night, at the end of the show, Keem came on and said it was the best episode they'd ever done. I thought it was one of the worst episodes of their show. I thought it was one of the worst episodes of any show ever. Like, I thought it was just terrible.
Off the rope, boy, a lot of momentum when he comes up.
Most of it was like Tina would go on a rant about how she didn't like girls who did OnlyFans, but then at the end of the rant, she would say like, you know, we all earn our money. She earns hers my way. I earn mine my way. You know, nobody better than anybody else. But like, she's the one that brought up the whole thing by saying that she was better than Dirty Dalish. Like, it was just really weird. Tina, it just seems like Tina is like controlled by AI or something, or like she's TTS. Like, it's just random. She just says the most random shit.
Off those ropes. He's a heavyweight. Mantel back to the court.
I believe it. I mean, it's a pretty gigantic opportunity. I mean, especially as far as like moving up from where she is now.
Corner, then drops down.
They have him.
He did get it. Down to 3 at 2 minutes, 41 seconds, and Dutch still going after the mask. And the Undertaker
Did Tina get a settlement from Walmart?
makes it out of the ring, mask intact for the time being.
We still got Jeff Jarrett, Joe LeDuc to face Gaddafi and Pat Rose. All of that will be after we take time out for the... including that bullwhip on the pole match and the big main event. It's going to be a 6-man with Dundee, Landell.
I mean, Keem's going to have to do something soon on Queens, I would think. I mean, unless he's just going to keep bringing in a random person that just keeps getting kicked out every time. I don't know. Like, it just seems like something's got to give there. And I don't understand it. I don't understand why he made such a huge deal about banning everybody, but then he immediately unbanned everyone at the end of the stream. I don't understand his any of his strategy here.
And Falk going against Lawler, Joe LeDuc, and Jeff Jarrett. Son of a gun, Jeff, I'll say one thing. You got a couple of real heavyweights with you.
I do, Lance.
I like that at one point somebody referred to, was it Tina that referred to Becky as having a bulging vagina? I was like, well, bulging? Wow.
I'm just glad I get to be in the same ring because it's an honor to be in the same ring with these guys. But they know, and I think the people know, that I don't have a chance against the Dundee or Landell. But all I'm going to try to do is hold up my end of the team, and I think I can do that against Tony Falk.
I think so too, Jeff. I appreciate that, brother. Let me just say this real quick to Bill Dundee, Lance. I am sick and tired. I've had it up to right here of standing out here and listening to that little twerp run his mouth about how I'm scared of him. Let me tell you something, Dundee. You've never seen the day in your life, and you never will see the day when I'm scared of you, punk. Anytime, any place you want me, I'm going to be there. I'm not hard to find, brother. And Wednesday night in Evansville, Indiana, I'm going to...
Don't piss me off. Whenever they brought out the action figure, it said P star star star. Don't P star 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 me off.
show you. You start that match if you got so much guts, brother, and I'll start it for my team, and we'll see who's scared of who, you jerk.
Joe LeDuc will be there looking for Buddy Landell.
Buddy Landell, Bill Dundee, Tony Falk. You know, I'm glad to be Lawler's partner now, because I know when the man's mad, he can hit. And when he hits...
I think Grace should have covered the EFD chair fornication on Lol Cow Rejects. I think that's the kind of footage that will bring people back.
They go down. Now, Jeff.
Yeah, zero charisma, zero mic work there. He definitely got much, much better.
All we want you to do is exactly what you said. Take care of Tony Falk. And we take care of the rest. Buddy Landell, you tell everybody, Lance Russell, everybody that wants to listen and watch you, you're going to slap my face. Actually, you're going to slap my smile off my face. First of all, anybody that ever see me smile on this television, I dare you to come and say it. So you ain't going to slap me. You can slap me all you want. Show me how much of a man you are.
Oh, wow. We are ready.
Wow.
For what ought to be a most interesting final event right here on Championship Wrestling, David.
Should be indeed.
EFD would lose his shit. Yeah, but I mean, look, dude, it's Boyd. It's what you see that and you're like, holy shit, who is this guy? And then you want to go watch EFD's channel. And then you think mentally like, okay, Grace clued me into this cool streamer on Lol Cow Rejects, and now I'm like an EFD fan. And then there's just so much depth of stuff she could do with that.
We've got a tag team match with Tony Falk over in the corner of Pat.
That's Josie Lassard's grandfather.
Rose and Abdul Gaddafi.
She should slap herself like that on stream.
But going against, look at that, Big Joe LeDuc and Jeff Jarrett. Been looking forward to it all along, and we're finally to the expiration of time main event of the...
We could bring Jimmy on with the Furby on Lol Cow Rejects.
Day. Referee Jerry Calhoun is telling Tony Falk, sit down in the chair and stay there. I hope he listens.
Those two would have a wild conversation.
Good idea.
I doubt he will, though.
A couple of real bulls squaring off in there right now, Gaddafi and LeDuc. These are two very large gentlemen. An interesting pairing with LeDuc and Jeff Jarrett. By the way, I was impressed with Jeff, a comment that he made. Jeff was saying that he needs to be in the gym learning, but because his name is Jarrett, he's forced to be in the ring wrestling, and that's a very, very good comment to make, and shows you that he's got his feet right on the ground. He is brand new, just brand new. You probably saw the very first effort that he ever had in
Gaddafi.
Championship wrestling. He is teamed up with an unusual guy, Joe LeDuc, who just whipped Big Gaddafi right across the ring.
Boy, these two guys are both huge, both weighing over 280 pounds. LeDuc.
Yeah, he got naked. You couldn't see anything though. It was honestly like it was a super great the way it played out, as far as like you could post it without it getting taken down. Like he just takes his clothes off and then he just starts humping his chair, and he like is looking at the camera, and he does his like, you know, the EFD smile where he's like a real sly smile. It's just a funny clip. It's especially funny if you see the one where it's got all the frames, because then it just looks like you're watching some weird business meeting and there's just a guy fucking a chair in one of the squares.
Duke with about a 4-pound weight advantage. And he put a right hand to good use there, as you can tell from the reaction from Abdul Gaddafi.
Pat Rose takes the tag. Pat took a little look at who he was going to be against, but I've never seen Rose back up from anybody yet, and I don't suppose he'll back up from Joe, at least until after he's been in there with him for a little while. He's got a headlock on Rose. LeDuc, very strong. Oh, wow. Good night. Did you see that shoulder?
It's like a truck ran over him.
Oh, boy, oh, boy. He murdered him with that shoulder alone. It just splattered him on that canvas.
Ooh.
The EFD smile is akin to the smile from Glass's Kid in the Sandlot. Yes, when he's about to sneak a kiss, exactly. He has like a real mischievous smile that he does. Naked EFD looks like E.T.
LeDuc swings with the right hand. You are not going to see too much finesse in that. He just uses that superior power. And
well, he was in he was on Matt's show, and I came in, and he was already he was drunk and mad, and he told me, or Matt asked me if I had seen the footage of EFD fucking the chair, and I said, yeah, I'd seen it. And EFD goes, well, I might do it again tonight. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I was like, well, I'm going to post the clip of it on the first time on Thorpe Alert. And like EFD lost it. He like he just went unhinged. He called me like the F slur 500 times. He ended up getting kicked off of Matt's panel. He just like completely lost it.
And yet, Dave, saying that, it makes it sound like he's just a plotter and a clubber. LeDuc is so fast for a guy that big. I can't believe it every time I see him display some of that speed. He's got it.
He's got the tools, no doubt about it. We've seen him with drop kicks and all sorts of things.
Doesn't it knock you out when you see that guy go up with a drop? Look at here!
Hey,
Speaking of drop kicks, Joe LeDuc popped Pat Rose down, and there's a tag on Jeff Jarrett.
That was nice.
Press.
Pat Rose whipped into the rope. Good shoulder by Rose coming off of there. And this time Jeff Jarrett's waiting for him. Look at Jeff move.
Yeah, he's definitely green.
That's one thing we said about him the very first time we saw him in action.
This Gas Nana catching up with me.
He's got a lot of learning to do. He's got a lot of experience to get under his belt, but God gave him great speed, and boy, he has plenty of that.
He's got that athletic ability. He can move in the ring, and he's going to have to use that in his career because he doesn't have all the size of...
Did you see Daninsky that It's Me was telling Lynx that her grandpa owed him $306? I was like, I didn't know for sure who he was talking about, and when he told me, I fucking lost it. I thought that was so outrageous.
For instance, a LeDuc has.
Yeah, Gas Nana. Like, I think it's just one word. No, it is two words. It's gas space Nana. It's only like 16.8% THC, but it's like, It's like a creeper. It takes a little while, but like once you start, if you ramp it up, it's really got some kick to it.
Nice move. Good reversal by Jeff Jarrett. He takes Pat Rose down to the mat and has got him there with a left arm bar. Tony Falk yelling and screaming about hair pulling down at ringside.
Good combination of a hip toss right back into an arm drag as he popped Pat over and down and goes into a bar in there.
No.
Jeff with...
I remember the comment that Ruby got mad at me about. I was typing in all caps in the chat, as many of us were, and I said that Keemstar was only upset because Ben Thorpe had pulled his hair a little bit to establish dominance. And that's when Ruby said that I was willfully ignoring Ben's evil.
Marvelous high school credentials as a basketball player, excellent in college, and I think we told you last week.
I got some weed the other day. It's called Bling. It's called Bling Blau. It's like the worst name, Bling Blau. But it was like 38% THC. But I don't know if I believe him or not.
Academic All-American at Aquinas, where he goes to school.
Tony Falk calling for some action here. He's not happy with the predicament Rose is in at the moment.
I definitely don't have the exotics. I go into the menu and I sort by cheapest. I go into flour and then like cheapest, and that's how I pick. That's how I pick the shit that I buy.
He got him with a knee as he came over into the rope.
There's some of that inexperience when he was making the cross, and
unless it's like very specific strains, like Bio Jesus, I would pay for. Sugar Breath, I would pay for. What are the odds we get one episode of Lolcow Villains with Ben? Absolutely zero. Absolutely zero. He didn't even make it. Yeah, exactly. He didn't even make it through the first segment. Once he saw there were 500 viewers, he was like, my job here is done. He went to, didn't he try to go to bed? And she's like, are you going to sleep? I don't honestly, like, if you like a certain strain, I understand if you want to pay more, but like, I'm pretty open to like any kind of indicas, so I just, unless it's like something that I just really gotta have, like I'll typically just, I can find something. Like there's always a bunch of like $20 eighths I can normally find something, or like $40 shake quarters.
He ran right into Gaddafi, who just blasted him down on the mat.
Jeff being choked by Gaddafi.
It would, honestly, it might be worth it for us to review that first episode of Lolcow Rejects, because there were some really interesting Ben moments. Yeah, the coffee was very, very interesting. Grace went into girl boss mode, and like that was a rough scene. We might have to review it. Cold coffee?
Referee counting for the break. Gaddafi breaking it and then went right back to it. Now he's got him over the top rope, choking him with a rope. The body slam by Gaddafi. He goes to the ropes, drops down with the arm.
If Lolcow Villains is even a real thing, that I don't know, is there an actual account for it? If they're not going to do it, if Ben doesn't want to do it, I mean, what? But okay, let's say Hormaxer is the new host, right? What do they do with Lolcow Villains? You wouldn't want to put it like right after Lolcow Rejects, right? Because you want to keep that synergy. You want to keep you want to try to like barnacle onto Lolcow Live, that block, so that instead of tuning in at 5, they're tuning in at 3 every day. So I don't know, where would you even put Lolcow Villains, like on a after Rewind or after Court? Then you're into like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Might be at the cover. Count of 1 is all he got. Jeff able to break out of it at the 1 count. Pat Rose. I think he hit him with a thumb.
Okay. Hormaxer, Reptilian Richard Ramirez, and OPC Don. There's your hosts of Locale Villains.
Looked like he jabbed that thumb in his throat.
Well, this is what you call learning a heart.
Or could this be Ava's window? Ava could just go after a different lolcow each week as her segment on lolcow villains. Like, instead of being a lolcow villain, although she could be seen as a lolcow villain if you're a Grace supporter. Instead of her going after Grace, like, she could do like one of her little dossiers on some random lolcow.
Hard way, and Jeff.
Like, she could profile a new villain each week as opposed to being a villain herself or whatever.
Very determined, slam back at him. He's a fighter, no doubt about that. Rose goes to the throat. That shows you Pat was upset and irritated when he nailed him because he got him.
Oh, I 100% agree, Joe. Like, to know like 24 hours in advance that they're going to stream at 3 o'clock, like, that's a game changer. Like, it's no more like, oh, I'm at Kroger, or they're going to stream at 1:30 in the morning. Like, they did a VC, I think, in the lolcow rejects, but like, there was just no way. It was like it's just a completely random time.
Hot enough to go right for the throat in front of the referee. And Pat Rose, rough, tough.
Well, she did say that she would sell it to me for $5, and then immediately afterwards she said that's if she keeps her word, which, you know.
Son of a gun, I'll tell you. He takes an elbow and plants it on Jeff. Buries him on that mat. Covers him.
Isn't it kind of the thing for building an audience? Like, you want to have about the same time, and then like 3 days a week at that time. And that's like kind of your base level to start build, like where people start getting into kind of a routine.
Oh! Our time winding down.
Do you think if Grace did get a job at McDonald's, like, would people leave her alone? Like, do you think they would just let her work, or do you think they would like fuck with the McDonald's?
Here on Championship Wrestling. We'll check it all for you in just a moment. Gaddafi, big body slam.
Look out from the middle rope. Hey, Jeff Jarrett out of the way. Needs a tag. He gets it on Joe LeDuc.
The only other advice I would have would be a lesson we could take from the territory days of, like, you want to have your, like, you want to kind of get your hottest moment, like, toward the end of the show, so that the people who get into that, like, routine of like not leaving your show early to go over to over to Lolcow Live, but then, like, you want to keep them, you want to hook them in the beginning and then give them something like at the end to, like, remember.
Look out, Falk around the ring is working on Jeff Jarrett. And the referee has disqualified him. He's disqualified him because Falk was interfering.
Falk ran around the ring and nailed Jeff Jarrett, who was down on the ring apron. Jeff had just gotten off a tag to Joe LeDuc, and LeDuc was in slamming Rose and Gaddafi, and Jeff was catching his breath on the ring apron, and Falk.
I also did appreciate hearing Ben say that the Discord was bumping. I thought that was pretty funny.
Zipped around there, started beating on him, and now he is just hammering him from one post to the next on the turnbuckles, while Gaddafi and Pat Rose, here comes Lawler.
After 3 months off the internet, nobody will remember who they are. So you think if they did quit streaming, like, people would leave them alone?
Lawler came in there looking for Falk. Falk was working on Jeff Jarrett while Rose and Gaddafi were keeping LeDuc out of it. There the hands raised. Jeff and Joe LeDuc are going to get the victory by disqualification here.
We'll check the time. Be back in a moment.
What should I do with Thorpe TV, though, if I end up inheriting it? Just back up all the archives on, like, Rumble or something? Submit them to the Library of Congress?
Gaddafi and Leduc butt heads in there.
Boy,
That's
big guys.
an explosion, boy. You got that right. Hey, we just flat about out of time here.
You're
We
right.
carried
Good
her
matches
down.
today.
We got in just as much as we could get in today. Plenty of it as we took it right to the wire. But next week, we'll be back with more of it, too. I kind of got an interest out of looking at how Landell and Dundee look at a situation when we ran that tape in there. We may try that 2 or 3 times in the future. That's all for Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
Hey, maybe you guys can explain something to me. I don't really know a lot about how YouTube works. Like, I've noticed that there are YouTube channels that have multiple lives going at the same time. Like, even I saw Jedi Rich one time mess up, and he had both like a vertical and a horizontal stream going at the same time. So like there's a channel called Shout Factory, and they have like, it seems like they have like a shit ton of live streams going all the time. So like, can anybody do that, or do you have to have like a do you have to have like a certain, or do you have to have like be part of a business to do something like that? Sell the content to TLC for syndication and make millions.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of championship wrestling. Namely,
the Thorpes will be like these old school wrestlers we're watching now, historical curiosities remembered by a few. I do agree. I do think that, but see, I view that as a positive, and I know a lot of people don't. But like, I do think that they will have a like, there will always be like, as long as there's a YouTube or whatever, like I think there'll be people that like are seeking out the old Thorpe shit no matter what. Because it's just so it's just so much different than everything else. They're like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, their vibe is like super degen, but they're not like degen like IP2 streamers, but like they fit in better personality wise in the IP2 world, but like they wouldn't fit in reality. Like, the practicality of them streaming with those kind of people wouldn't work out. But they're not like, they're too degen for like regular, for most like panel and like IRL collabs. They just have it's just such a weird vibe.
the promoters of championship wrestling.
Yeah, I know he likes the vertical streams. I hate the vertical streams. I'd probably have to reach out to like Chaotic Truth and John Galt and probably like Ruby, Ava. I'd have to get rights clearances so that we could like include the footage that they have of the Thorpes. We'd have to treat it better than WWF or WWE does these territories. Oh, this is May 3rd, 1986, so the directly next show.
Hello again, everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown, and by golly, we're not 2 steps away from the big ring right there. It'll be filling up with action on Championship Wrestling. Looks like another dandy today, David.
It should be a good one. We're going to have young Paul Diamond in here out of Thunder Bay, Ontario, in the opening match coming up in just a moment. Rip Rogers from Seymour, Indiana, be here a little bit later on. Jeff Jarrett will be here. The Mod Squad with J.D. Costello. And then later on today, Dutch Mantel will be in here. And also Tony Falk. They'll be involved in tag team matches coming up later.
Yes, sir. Those are some of the names that'll be here, and by golly, the action you can't predict. Tell you what you do. Put on the seatbelts and get ready for it. We're going to be back, and we'll open up with that first action in just one moment. Exciting young man out of Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, and I'm talking about Paul Diamond. Paul, talking with you more in depth a few
Paul is looking wild.
weeks ago, and you were talking about the comeback, and by golly, you are looking great. I got to say, you must be pleased because comeback, you are really on schedule with it, looking very.
The Thorpes may retain some real notoriety if Ben ends up committing a serious crime. Don't encourage that.
Very good.
Well, thanks, Lance. You know, I didn't know what to expect when I first came back, but now I
No crime, Ben, please. No crime.
feel my strength is up 100%.
Looking good physically.
I feel good. I'm in top shape, and you know, the next step for me, I would like some sort of a title shot in here.
Well, you're certainly on the right path to doing it because you've been racking up.
Are we on day 11, I think, of the yellow outfit?
Some impressive wins.
Well, thank you. You know, every match that you have is a step on the ladder up to that title shots. And one thing that concerns me a little bit is this character, Rip Rogers. I know he wants to win a title too.
Sure.
You know, and the match went to a 15-minute draw, and he wanted to settle it with 5 more minutes. Well, Rip Rogers, that's fine with me. We got in there, you know, and I'm not the one to start a fight. Well, he did. And 5 more minutes we had. And then, you know, I'm kind of surprised at Eddie Marlin too. He sends out 6 guys out there, and they're holding me down so we couldn't finish what we had started. But now I got a commitment.
There are some people in the chat who are like always super offended by Ben still wearing the yellow outfit.
From Eddie Marlin. And next time, Rip Rogers, we get in that squared circle, I'm going to finish what you had started.
Well, I know that you told me after the situation was all over and you were a little upset about all the guys.
I will always be a fan of them not changing their clothes for a long time because I think it helps with like the continuity of the storylines. I feel like they normally change clothes when there's like a shift in the direction of the content.
And holding you down and all that kind of stuff. But it is a situation where Eddie was saying, hey, we've got other matches on the card and we got to get going. And what he was trying to do is take care of business. You said, I don't mind wrestling anybody, but I really don't like to fight that much, but I can fight. And I believe you showed everybody you could fight.
Well, you know, the marquee out there says wrestling. And that's what I came here to do, is wrestle. But if he wants a fight, I can fight too. Like I said, I'm not the one to start him, but I'll sure finish him.
All right, golly, we are looking forward to seeing you in the ring much more. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to see you in action just about now.
Thank you, Lance.
Okay. Paul Diamond, exciting wrestler out of Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. And I believe we've got a match coming up now.
Well, we don't worry about this stumble bum. There ain't nobody caring about Paul Diamond. All the girls out there want to look at the Nature Boy and the Superstar.
This is how I dress in real life.
Now, I ain't out here to blow hot, no hot air. I'm out here to make a challenge, Russell, and it ain't going to be you, because if we slap you for 5 years, they ain't going to see us again, right? But sometimes I think it would be worth it. Well, I'm just going to tell y'all something. Jerry Lawler's walking around calling himself the Southern Heavyweight Champion, wearing the Southern Heavyweight belt, and everybody knows it was the referee that won it for him. The referee dove down behind me, counted 1, 2, 3 real fast, stood up, gave him the belt, and said, quick, run away with it. Well, Lawler, I'm just going to tell you something, punk. I want a rematch because every time he asked for one, I give it to him, Lance. Every time he asked for one, right, Budrow?
That's exactly right, Bill. That's one side of it.
That's right. Now, I'm just going to tell you something, Jerry Lawler. If you got enough guts, you'll go to Eddie Marlin and tell him I want to wrestle Bill Dundee on television. Because when I beat you, punk, I want the whole world to see it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, he came out of the closet and said, was it being a coward, right? Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
Lawler, you're on the spot, boy. If you don't want all them rednecks out there to think that the Nature Boy and the Superstar's telling the truth, he's going to have to sign the match, right?
Well, that's the way you look at it. Of course, he's obviously trying to feather his own net.
I got to tell all you rednecks something. The Nature Boy and the Superstar, we can't wait for tomorrow. Know why, Lance?
Why?
Because we get better looking every day.
Okay, let's go to the ring now that we've heard from Dundee and Landell, and we're
Showtime. I saw you in Grace's chat last night, and you was trying to Shabatoni Ben. You kept trying to poke the bear.
ready, David.
They're underway here with Paul Diamond in the ring.
Now we have three. We have Showtime, Joe Shabatoni, and South to West that will all tell Grace she needs to stop interrupting Ben.
Okay, we have Paul Diamond going against the other half. We saw the Undertaker, I believe, last week or a couple of weeks ago, and this is the other half of the team. We mentioned at the time they were a tag team the last time we'd seen them, and here is the other Undertaker. He's a big guy also.
This one is taller, but doesn't weigh quite as much as the other. Both of them big, though. They weigh in around, well, I guess, almost 250 for this one. Paul Diamond, Canadian, on a comeback trail after some tough personal problems. And
South to West, the way he approaches it is like, it's so like down home and like grounded. He'll be like, gosh, Ben, you were really onto something there before Grace interrupted. Could you continue on that point?
Been looking good in matches lately. Hey, nice move right there. He put the Undertaker down.
Diamond is picking back all of that weight. When he had these problems, he got down in the 160, 65 pound class, and boy, he's a long way from that now.
What? Did I see someone just posted a YouTube video of an old WCW clip with William Regal and Bill Dundee as his mumbling Scottish valet, Sir William? What? That sounds amazing.
Undertaker tried to hook Diamond's leg there, but he couldn't.
I don't think this is the same guy as last time. What do you think?
Get a hold set up. Paul Diamond back in control. Good move. He just leaped through the air and popped him with the upper arm. Had kind of a double momentum with the Undertaker coming off the ropes and Diamond headed for him head on.
Paul's got that fine combination of good athletic ability, good speed, and the Undertaker had enough.
He really had to like up the ass camera view there
to kick him out at the count of two.
That was a great leg drop, though.
But right away, Diamond back on that arm, barred up very tight. Undertaker didn't have a chance. He was thinking about going and hooking a leg, but Diamond saw it.
I actually like this Undertaker better. I think he's got kind of like he looks like a goth Ultimate Warrior.
Came right down to the mat.
Got that arm hammered up behind him. Really able to put some heat on it from that angle. Undertaker's not giving it up. No submission. Referees checked with him 2-3 times on it.
Diamond has gotten his attention well enough. The Undertaker.
I don't know. I don't know if everything. Okay, let's just assume, for the sake of my answer, that everything we're seeing is real. That Grace and Ben are running an outlaw. They're running an outlaw territory that's infringing on Keem's territory, and he's responding in ineffective ways, right? So let's assume all that is true. If she went there and what he says he feels about Grace and Ben and the people that are with them is true, I think he would just call the police immediately. He seems legitimately terrified of... I don't know. Did somebody mess with Keemstar or something? Like, he seems really terrified, but I don't know. Like, almost to the point of that, like, makes me think that it's put on because he's just like so worked up about it, and I don't understand it. Their Discord is not like it's like utopia or something. You know what I mean? He makes it act like he makes it seem like their Discord was super like peaceful and perfect before anybody from Grace Court joined.
Really hadn't fired back with anything going in this match. It's been all Paul Diamond.
Yeah, the Undertaker's had to be on the defensive the whole way, keep from getting his arm.
Like, if they really would be driving up there to ambush him, he honestly should call the police immediately, for no other reason than like you have to set a clear boundary to everybody. Like, you know, but that if Ben and Grace did it, it'd get a bunch of views, but then like somebody else might try to do it. So I would say he would probably just call the police out of like either paranoia or an abundance of caution. You remember when the WWF ran out of Asian wrestlers, so they put Paul Diamond under a mask as one half of the Orient Express? I didn't know that was Paul Diamond. Wow.
Arm ripped off there.
Oh my God, they had the best music. We've got to listen to their. We got to listen to their entrance music after this episode.
Got it caught in the hammer, and Diamond moved back into the ropes, and the Undertaker.
You think it's wedding stress on Keemstar?
Now zinging away. Paul blocks him, stuns him with a right of his own.
Whoa. I agree. I think I've been talking to Jedi Joy about this. I think that Jedi Joy should do a video where she talks about that the real reason why Keemstar is so stressed is because he's bulimic and Brantley is controlling his food intake. He keeps like no, I didn't say that they should go there. But yeah, I mean, they would it not get a ton of views? I mean, it would get a shit ton of views. But is it a good idea? As our good friend Jimmy would say, I do not consent, do not condone that behavior. But for the content, yeah.
Down at 2. I thought he had him there for a 3 count. 2 count, though.
I was ready to ring the bell on that one, but he didn't. Reversal, and Diamond in. Leapfrog, back, side kick. And boy, he nailed him hard. Could be this time. He does.
Okay, but just bear with me for just a second. I'll run real quick through this. If you watch Lolcow Live a lot, Keemstar is obsessed with his weight. And he said it last night, but he says it a lot anyway. He was like, oh my God, guys, I gained 5 pounds over the weekend. Like, it was this huge moment that he had gained 5 pounds. He does that all the time. He's absolutely obsessed with Boogie and Wing's weight and seeing their bodies, having them take their shirts off. He likes to humiliate fat people. He likes to bring Boogie on to talk about how and humiliate fat women. He has this weird weight thing. I don't know if it's like a feeder thing or if he's just like, there's weight issues there. And I think that only Jedi Joy can really get to the bottom of what's going on with Keemstar. Gray spits in Keemstar's face. Don't, Joe. Don't. I'm not endorsing that. That would be a bad idea. The fake Lolcow shows are like the Montreal Screwjob. Yes. You called him a fat ass in chat when I heard that. Like he does, though. He is really obsessed with weight. Like Jedi Joy could totally, with her razor-like mind, she could nail this down and get Keemstar some answers, and then we could get back to getting good content again.
3 minutes and 1 second. Good match for Paul Diamond as he gets the win.
We've got more. We'll be seeing the Hustler Rip Rogers in just a moment.
Going to Keem's house is kind of IP2 behavior, but it's mainly like Frank Castle behavior. But I don't think Keem, like, even mockingly invited them to come there, did he? Like, Boogie told Frank Castle, come and knock on the door, and he did. But I don't think Keemstar was ever like, you know, bring your people down here. This is exactly, again, what Ben said would happen, that we would see this huge spectacle play out between the Thorpes and like the Thorpe Vengers versus the like evils of the world. And now we've got our prophet, we've got Jimmy. Whose side will Jimmy end up on? Joy, I will reach out to Joy and I'll even go on Healthy Family Force if I have to get the conversation going about it, because it needs to be addressed. We're all suffering, especially Keem, and we need to help him get through this. You'll make sure, Grace, this gets this idea of mine about going to New York. Do not consent, do not condone.
Ooh, just looking over the big action coming up Wednesday night. Evans.
So Grace said, I think I forgot to tell you guys this, but whenever somebody was accusing Grace of botting links, and Grace said that she didn't have any tech-savvy simps, and her proof of this was to say that Mark Fusion doesn't even know how to turn his own microphone on. So I don't know if she would take my advice on content, but that's not my advice in content, is to go to New York.
Coliseum. 6 big matches with a main event, friend, that you're going to be interested in. Bill Dundee, Buddy Landell, going against the team of Jerry Lawler and Joe LeDuc. Some fireworks going.
I mean, he has a lot of Mr. Beast feastable bars. He could at least be like, hey, the Thorpes are on hard times. It's Christmas. Keemstar, give the Thorpes some Mr. Beast bars, bro. You got them for free, man.
Going on Wednesday night in the Coliseum.
You get that right, Lance, and it's going to be a little different story than last week, because now it's just down to the 4, Joe LeDuc and the King, Landell and Dundee, and I can assure you it's going to be a different story. We're going to change things up a little bit this week, Dundee and Landell. It don't set well with me to know that I was handcuffed to a rope and have my partners, Joe LeDuc and Jeff Jarrett, left laying in the ring, a bloody mess. That don't set well with me at all, brother. Wednesday night, we're going to change things around, I can assure you. I got a little piece of film. I want to show everybody out there just a little piece of film here of something that this man can do. I know.
Keem, all of this is speculative. Don't ban me from appearing on one of your lolcow spinoffs.
Oh, really well, Joe LeDuc. I know firsthand the kind of strength that.
Thorpe Alert is not state-sponsored media. We do not allow any input or direction from the Thorpes.
This man has, as you can see, I weigh 234 pounds. He picked me up.
Why would he do that? Why would he do that? He was just in the back that night, and he was like, I'm going to go out there and just blow people's minds, and he did.
Up like a feather, brother, over his head, threw me out over that ring in Memphis, Tennessee, onto the announce.
I think this will end with Ben and Grace holding hands and driving their RV off a cliff. That would be all right. That'd be like a pretty cinematic ending, but.
Table, Lance, and you know and the fans know that as a result of that, I spent months trying to recover, brother, from the badly
find a cliff.
Damaged leg that I had, and I have asked Joe LeDuc to do one thing this week. When we get in that ring on Wednesday night, Joe LeDuc, I want you to take Dundee and Landell, and I don't care which one it is, but I want you to pick them up over your head, and I want you to do the same thing to them that you did to me. Are you capable of that, Joe?
Am I capable? Lawler, you should know better than that. I'm going to go to Evansville. Don't worry, I won't slap you. Buddy Landell and Bill Dundee, you like to talk a lot. Well, I'm going to say my talking in the ring.
I'm gonna try to join the cast of lolcow vibes. We'll have to look at it after this.
And what Lawler wants me to do, I can do it. I'm going to pick you up, maybe 2 at a time, and throw you. And somebody ran to the tower.
Well, wait, I should say, I don't know the person who actually runs the thing. Do you guys, who's Thick Gemini? I don't have any idea who that is. I think that's who runs lolcow vibes. Well, yeah, but I was just trying to be a little, put a little humor on the topic. Showtime. You think I should hire Lalo to be my lawyer? For what purpose? What's going to happen? Is Keemstar going to bill me for his time too? Was that not the most lolcow shit you have ever heard? I'm going to bill the Thorpes for my time. Like, come on, bro. They're going to owe me several $1,000s.
Standing right here with me, former champion, as a matter of fact, in at least 3 major divisions, 2 holders of 2 bodybuilding contests, Hustler Rip Rogers.
That's right, Mr. Russell.
And by the end of the show, he was billing like several people.
Hustle Rip Rogers, the man who's a name in professional wrestling, a man known throughout the world, a man everybody's chasing. And you know, Mr. Russell, Paul Diamond come out here. Mr. Who, Paul Diamond, nobody's ever heard of you, the man with the drug problem. Rehabilitation. And you come out here.
Oh my God, nobody's ever heard of you except for being the guy with a drug problem. Oh my gosh, whoops.
Standing right here with me, former champion, as a matter of fact, in at least 3 major divisions.
Thick Gemini is a fat little over-actor who tried out and was forgot. So he tried out. So he's a lolcow reject. He should be on rejects, and instead he's on lolcow vibes.
2 holders of 2 bodybuilding contests. Hustler Rip Rogers.
Keemstar's going to start talking about the total retail value of the people that he's billing for his time. Can you imagine sending Grace Thorpe a bill for your time?
Right, Mr. Russell, Hustle Rip Rogers, the man who's a name in professional wrestling, a man
You better pay this money that you never agreed to.
known throughout the world, a man everybody's chasing. And you know, Mr. Russell, Paul Diamond come out here. Mr. Who, Paul Diamond, nobody's ever heard of you, the man with the drug problem. Rehabilitation. And you come out here and you say, I challenged you. Well, let me tell you, Diamond, you challenged me because I'm the man with the name. I'm the man that won wrestling titles. I'm the man that won bodybuilding titles. And I'm the man that's bad. And this place around here.
You're the one that challenged him to 5 more minutes. That's
So let me
exactly
tell you,
what
Mr.
you
Russell,
said.
Paul Diamond's a liar. He lied to you. He lied to TV Land. He lied to all the people in the studios. He challenged me because he's chasing me. And he says he's a wrestler, but he can fight. I watched his match. He can't wrestle and he can't fight, but I can wrestle and I can fight. And I'm going to show
The penny bucket. Oh man, Steven, did you see the stream where she went back to the apartment? And like the garage was filled with all these like Thorpe antique artifacts. Like the penny bucket was in there with the pennies still in it. That was so cool. That was such an absolutely great stream where she like went off the deep end on that passenger seat rant. Shiny money for the scat goblin.
everybody in this area why I'm bad. Woo!
What we came to see. Hustler Rip Rogers heads to the ring. We're ready for the next match, Dave.
Waiting in the ring right now is David Haskins. And Hustler Rip Rogers.
Ben skipped out on an electric bill, or Ben's dad did. I've been looking through some old family, Healthy Family Force stuff, and looking through like their side channels. And I found a video. I didn't watch it, but it was Rich explaining how they were skipping out on $9,000 worth of rent on their landlord.
Is now removing the robe and is ready to step into the ring. The bell has already sounded. We are technically underway. Referee Jerry Calhoun is in. All right, let's go. Rogers, never at a loss for words. As you hear right there. Says he's the man that everybody's chasing around here. Everybody's looking for.
During the cleaning the apartment streams, you mean like the vibe streams? The Burger King meltdown and stuff like that? The Trad Girl in the Abyss era? I mean, during part of it, when she was at Thousand Trails, he would have been like, that was the Trad Girl in the Abyss. He would have been in the RV. Because there was a couple little instances where like Grace, I think there was one specific instance where Grace thinks that she wants to mute it to clearly talk to somebody, but she hits the buttons in the wrong order. So like we hear the other person speak and then she mutes herself thinking that she's doing like the opposite or whatever. But there was that. And then there was a couple like sounds during a couple of the streams. Hard out here for what's cave rent. So I think for part of it, he at the Thousand Trails, I think he was always there, right? Always in the RV.
Rip Rogers. I think David Haskins just found him. Oh, Rogers with a.
Wouldn't he have just been in the RV during those streams Showtime? I can't remember. Grace drives to the apartment, right? So we never, do we even see the RV in that stream? Or does it end when she's driving home? He was probably in the RV, I think.
The knee left to the midsection. Forearm across the back. That slowed down David Haskins' attempt to...
What would the mystery be there, though? Like, he doesn't... There's not any reason he couldn't have been anywhere, really. Besides... Well, is there a... There's not a restraining... Like, he could go to the apartment if he wanted to, right? He just doesn't want to, or he doesn't like to go there.
Go for a quick victory here against Rip Rogers. Head into the turnbuckle. Rogers going around the ring to every turnbuckle, running David Haskins' head into it. He got 3 out of 4. Haskins now whipped into the turnbuckle.
Okay, yeah, he's gone for the stream where Grace goes to the apartment and does the little tour of the apartment. That's a great stream. That's a really fun stream. Then they come back and they have part 1 of moving stuff out. Then they come back for part 2 of moving stuff out. I think that's when they go to dinner. Unless, I don't think Ben was at that dinner, was he? So you're right. And then he would have come back. He would have come back after those 3 episodes. He came back for the OPC Don almost got arrested stream. So I think, yeah, that's right. I think you're right. He was gone for at least those. That's a 4-episode arc, and he's gone for the first 3 episodes of it, I'm pretty sure. Do I think Ben ever left Miami during that period where Grace is staying in the motel and stalling Lauren and Purple Hair Girl? Probably not. I mean, he has Miami clothing. You know what I mean? He's dressed for Miami. It was probably like now I don't know. This is pure speculation. Maybe it was like a, you know what, hang out for a while and whatever. And Grace obviously, you know, didn't want to do any of the options that were available pretty much. So maybe he just hung around, and maybe if things would have worked out, he would have maybe went back. But I don't know. I thought the plan was always that Grace was going to stay with Lauren and then Ben was going to stay in Miami, but he was going to be at a different location. That's what I thought she said on LolCow Live or LolCow Queens something. But then the story on the show later on was that he went back for supervised custody visits and stuff like that. Wouldn't that be pretty... I mean, wouldn't that have leaked into the Thorposphere if... Aren't there like people who speak with Courtney? So wouldn't they know whether or not Ben went and spent time with the kids?
Now, big boy!
Rick Rogers calling for Paul Diamond. Wonder who else he's going to be calling for. He's feeling pretty good, in control here.
What's the stream right before that one, Showtime? Do you know? Like right before where Grace goes back to the apartment? Was it the stream where they did the... No, that might be too fast. I was going to say they did a stream where they brought out the whiteboard and explained what they were going to do with the apartment, but I don't know if that one was right before that or not.
He's got David Haskins on the mat. Minute 25 gone in this one. 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. And out of the ring goes David Haskins. Rogers just threw him out on the floor. Now Rip says, I'm just out here to help him back in as he double hands him across the back.
Referee helped him back in to keep him off of David Haskins. The referee knows there's a way to handle it, and that he does what he's supposed to do. He starts counting 10. Rogers over, grabs him by the hair, pulls him back up through the ropes, snatches him up as he slams him down and goes at him with a chokehold.
Yeah, definitely choking away. 2 minutes gone in this one. Referee now. He's counting and counting on Rogers. What Rogers would do, break it at the last instant and then right back on the throat. Now using the top rope for the same thing as a choke. Snaps Haskins back into the ring. David really been in trouble here the last minute and a half. He was holding his own pretty well early in the match, but
Okay, well, there you go.
Rip Rogers has taken control.
I was going to say, I feel like there would definitely be, like, someone would know one way or another. So if there's not any dates until January, then I would say he's probably always in Miami. And I don't think that is really no one's going to be surprised by that, except Keem apparently.
Rogers again throws Haskins out of the ring. Second trip out on the floor today for David Haskins.
Oh, the atomic knee.
Atomic knee dropped down on the concrete floor. Rogers back in the ring. Referee is going to start the count now. David.
You don't get the constant hotel room stays there. Thought they actually enjoyed the RV. I feel like it just swings wildly between the two, whether it seems like they like it or they don't. Usually like how motivated they are for whichever like makes more sense in like content wise.
David Haskins. Boy, when you get the atomic drop put on you in the ring, it's bad enough. But down on that solid concrete floor, which has absolutely no give to it, Rogers now again says, "I'm just going to help him into the ring." He does, rolls him under the ropes.
Like, how much do you think they're paying for a hotel room? Like $150, $150? It doesn't feel like they are in like they would be getting like a long-term stay rate, because it seems like they change hotels fairly regularly.
Boy, this Rogers is a real ham, too.
Yeah,
Runs his mouth, plays to the cameras and all the folks. He comes off that second rope down and double hands Haskins to the mat.
Haskins had just gotten on his feet, and then off that middle rope comes Rip Rogers.
Did you hear that guy in the audience yell, "Where Paul Diamond at?" Probably something to do. Oh no, a constant drip of urine is pooling around the RV.
Big suplex as Rogers takes Haskins over one.
Push me off!
Oh, yeah, Rogers not going for the cover.
This is when I would love to see something like Haskins get up and just beat the stew out of him when he misses an opportunity to go ahead and get a pin, because he's showing off. He's going for that Boston Crab. Turns him over, sits down on it. Oh, this is painful.
That's it. 4 minutes, 22
This old lady, not impressed.
seconds. The Boston Crab. He could have pinned him. He didn't have to go for the submission. Hustler Rip Rogers gets the win.
We mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, Dave.
Well, and let's just say that, for argument's sake, that Ben said, okay, you know what, Grace, this is a big opportunity. If I've got it, if this is how we have to do it for now, then let's do it this way, and he's going to leave. And then he finds out that Keemstar has set her up, and I'm not putting any shade on Zay Zudit at all for this, but we know how Ben and Grace feel about people who do OnlyFans and stuff like that. And then she's describing her relationship with her boyfriend as like a pimp type relationship. Whether that was a joke or not, I don't know. But like, if you're like Ben and Grace have some pretty like, you know, they have some pretty strong feelings about certain things, and like I can see them like completely, you know, shifting their attitude when they found out that like that's what Keemstar's, you know, solution was for Grace's, you know, needing a place to stay.
You rarely see the Boston Crab used, but boy, it is a devastating submission hold. Rogers used it well, and he comes out the victor. And he's still running his mouth about Paul Diamond. I got a feeling you'll have...
Like, I think Zay Zudit seems cool and everything, but like, I know how Ben and Grace feel about... They have really strong feelings about certain lifestyles.
A chance to see all of Paul Diamond you want. Hey, young fella, we've really been interested. You know, we've talked so many times. We've seen some of these guys from the very beginning, and the names that come to mind are Robert Gibson and Rick Morton, lots of other guys.
Coco Ware, yeah.
Yeah, right from the very beginning. We're in on another one, and that is Jeff Jarrett, and it's interesting to see the young fella. I think one of the things that attracts me, in addition to his athletic ability, he's still got a lot to learn about professional wrestling, but he is very dead honest about it. He had some very brief comments to make, and I want you to take a listen to him.
The first thing I want to say today is I want to thank the fans for all the support they've given.
Oh, we're down in, okay, so we've been here before. Is this where his dad, I think, gave a speech of some kind? Like a retirement, maybe a retirement? No, he did that at the studio. Maybe this is where Dutch was.
I know it's hard sitting out there supporting someone who's probably going to get beat. And for that, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And the rest of this interview is for you, Bill Dundee. Now, I've already talked to Jerry Lawler and Joe LeDuc, and I've told them how much I really appreciate them letting me be their partner and giving me a good start and a good break in the wrestling business. But Bill Dundee, I'm not going to let you beat Jerry Lawler and Joe LeDuc because of me. It's not fair because they're top wrestlers. But Dundee, there's going to come a day. Right now, I'm 18 years old.
Okay, so if they're needing like $100 a day just for the hotel room, like that's a pretty, I mean, and then with the super chats, they don't get the money. I mean, sometimes it could be a pretty, just depending on where it falls on the calendar, like it'd be a pretty long wait till it might skip it, and might have to wait like, if it went on like the 22nd, or if you got donations on the 22nd or 23rd, you'd be waiting a while. But I mean, I guess but that's going to be the majority of their donations, I would think, right? That's what Grace was saying on the Discord, that they were making about a day in donations. So, I mean, that's like all of it. That's like all their money.
I weigh 190 pounds, and mainly, I've got 3 weeks in the wrestling business. Now, Dundee, there's going to come a day when I'll be older. It might be 3 months, 6 months, or a year, but there'll be a day when I'll come to you, Dundee, and ask you for a match.
I think if Ben and Grace went through like a drive up, they have like, some places have like drive-through like food banks. I feel like if Ben and Grace did a live going through a drive-through food bank, it would get a lot of views. I think that would be I think people would be really interested in that video. Yeah, that's Jeff Jarrett.
About Sunday, May the 4th, Versailles, Indiana. That's tomorrow. We're looking at 4 o'clock right there in Versailles with some outstanding championship wrestling stars who are going to be there. Make your plans. Get all the friends, all the family. Bring them right on out there. That's Versailles tomorrow, championship wrestling, 4 p.m. Sunday, May the 18th, Fort Knox, Kentucky. More on that later. Now, let's take a look at Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum. Tojo Yamamoto against the Assassin. Jeff Jarrett faces Tony Falk. Paul Diamond against Rip Rogers. Abdul Gaddafi and Pat Rose going against Dutch Mantel and Pat Tanaka. Billy Travis and Frank Morrell going against the Mod Squad with J.D. Costello. And then the final event, Bill Dundee, Buddy Landell facing Jerry Lawler, Joe LeDuc. And in this one, Joe LeDuc has already promised it's going to be one or both of them right over the top rope and out into the audience or the nearest spot to dump them. You got to see it Wednesday night right there in Evansville. Okay, we're going to be back in the ring.
Like super young Jeff, we just saw his first match like, 2 weeks ago? I think he had his first match. Are you saying a Thorpe TV production or no? Okay, well, of course, Joe. Sorry, of course, if there was just random news footage of Ben Thorpe at a food bank, that would be that would be the keynote find of the century. Yes, of course, my God. That's why that video of them having their debate with the black Hebrew Israelites was so funny to me, because we were seeing it we were seeing the Thorpes from a different perspective. But I think if they actually just did it themselves going through a food bank, yes, I think that would probably get more views than normal.
With big action coming up here, and we'll be seeing Jeff Jarrett in action against the Patriot in just a moment. J.D. Costello and the Southern Tag Champs.
I mean, wouldn't any footage just, oh my God, look at this outfit from J.D. Costello. Wouldn't seeing like Ben and Grace in like normal situations in a news report or something be interesting no matter what was going on? Like, I remember Grace posted a picture in the Discord one time of Ben walking among a group of Portuguese men. And the caption she put on it was like, "My dad and some Portuguese." And I thought even like that was just like, it was like looking at like a Bigfoot photo or something. Just seeing them in a natural environment, I guess.
Mod Squad, JD, before we start the interview, I would like to personally extend my condolences on your mother's passing, and we're very sorry to hear about it. And I think enough said about that.
Lance, let me tell you one thing to you. You aren't sorry about anything that happens to me, and I don't appreciate you saying anything about that.
Ben doesn't exist until you see him. Exactly. That's why seeing them through like any other lenses is always kind of jarring.
The fans aren't sad about it. You're not sad about it. You badmouthed the Mod Squad. You badmouthed myself behind my back, and I'm not going to put up with it. The only person that's sad about it, the only person that's hurt about it is myself. But behind every dark cloud is a silver lining, and today you are looking at probably the richest man on the face of the earth. When I was summoned home for the tragedy from New Orleans last week, Lance, went into my mother's study, and she had left me a note, and I require you to read that on television today. Here, I want you to read it.
Well, now, this is a personal matter. Maybe you'd prefer that we...
Read it.
He's like, "Hey, my mom died. Can you read this letter?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know. It seems inappropriate."
Okay, this is to J.D. Costello. Dear son, you have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are successful. You and the Mod Squad have risen to fame, fortune in such a short time. Not only is your inheritance guaranteed, but I'm leaving the entire Costello estate and corporation to you and only you. Your brothers and sisters are nothing compared to you. Signed,
I have inherited all the money. My brothers and sisters have inherited nothing. It's all mine. The corporation, the estate, it's all mine. I have spent all week with my lawyers and auditors going over...
Yes, they're still doing cops.
Over the amount of money that I have inherited. We haven't finished, but...
Well, if the Rhode Island police would get moving, we could have our own real-life Thorpe's causing disturbances body cam reviews if they would get the process moving.
But it's approximately valued at $20 million. I'll have a complete report for you next week. Now,
I'm waiting on Ben versus Jacinda. I'm waiting on OPC Don versus the Warren police.
Marvelous.
Now that I am probably the richest man on the face of the earth, it's time for me to become the most
This guy was Elon Musk in 1986.
Powerful man on the face of the earth. All week long, I have been doing financial reports and contracts and negotiations with different wrestlers within this organization, and I'm proud to announce today the Costello dynasty has been formed. First, you know the Mod Squad, the most destructive team in the world of professional wrestling today. They can't be touched by anybody. We are the Southern Tag Team Champions. In fact, I'm going to have the titles changed to the J.D. Costello Championship belts because nobody can touch us with them. We were the champions yesterday, we're the champions today, and we'll probably be the champions 10 years from now. On to bigger and better things. I would like to introduce my dynasty. First, Tony Falk. Come out here. Come here, Tony.
He is now with you.
He is now part of the Costello
You're
dynasty.
aware of his wrestling and his record in professional
Listen to
wrestling.
this. I have made Tony my assistant administrative director of the Costello dynasty.
Oh my gosh! Look at Tony Falk. Now he's getting a job at the J.D. Costello dynasty. Yeah, I agree with you, Daninsky. I do think he's getting better. He's a little more natural here, I feel like. Now that he's got the money, he can relax. Now he's the richest man alive. He can just be himself now. That's really coming through on camera.
Under my leadership, Tony will soar to new heights. He is going to see wins in the ring. Do you remember the story about the Wizard of Oz and the Scarecrow? The Scarecrow was a great character on...
Which stream? When did that happen, Showtime? How's it going, Laughing Cedar? Jimmy Hart working with him? Yeah, he's got his energies more dialed in. He's hitting his like cadence as a carrot. His delivery's coming across better.
On the movie, but he lacked the intellect, the brain. Well, let me be the brain for Tony Falk. I'm going to take Tony Falk to new heights in his career that he has never seen. I'm the brain.
And just full disclosure on this, I did offer to Grace to be part of her Lolcow network that I would host Lolcow Stoners, and it would be me, Zay Zooted, and Vegan Patriot.
He can be my machine, and he's programmed to do as I say. Now, let me introduce Abdul Gaddafi. Abdul, come out here.
No, I don't have that. No, unfortunately, Showtime. I can put a little legwork in and see if I can find it. I record some of them. It just depends.
Marvelous. The Libyan assassin.
The Libyan.
There are a lot of people right now that are risks to delete their streams. EFD is doing it a lot. Hormaxer does it kind of. He's more lately, though, been leaving them up. But Ava deletes her streams. Zay Zooted deletes all of her streams. Like, there's so much, like, Vegan is kind of a risk to delete, too, I guess, sometimes.
Leader Lance Russell. I'm proud to have him in America. And all you sleazy fans who badmouth him when he goes to the ring, you're...
I do still need to post that clip, too, of Hurricane Paro and XP going at it on Ava's channel. It's only a couple minutes long, but it's exactly what you would expect from those two.
Heritage is just not where it belongs. Now, finally, let me introduce Pat Crash Rose. Pat Rose. Come on, Pat.
And he is now with
He is now part of my dynasty. I've been around Pat Rose. We've become good friends. I've been around him for about the past 3 months. Pat is probably the most underrated wrestler in the world today. And under my leadership, he is...
This dude would be the coolest guy walking into a Pizza Hut in 1986. Can you imagine Pat Crash Rose coming into a Pizza Hut? Like, what a badass.
Going to become the winner. He is going to see championship belts around his waist. And he is...
Oh my God, yes. Lolcow Mystics with Aphrodite, Provo, and Jimmy. Gold.
He's going to see more money than he could ever thought possible, Lance Russell.
Well, you've gathered quite a group here, JD.
There's one wrestler, though, that I have not been able to get in contact with all week. I think he's a great wrestler, and without a doubt, I believe he can become the world heavyweight.
Jimmy could end every episode by reminding everybody that all the readings were actually about him, so they shouldn't base any of their life decisions off of them.
Champion in a very short time under the auspices of J.D. Costello. That wrestler is Dutch Mantel. Now, I've been trying to get in contact with him all week, and I can't. He's a loner. He stays to himself.
I had to switch strains. That gas nano was stacking up on me. I'm smoking Sure Banger now. 33% THC. I don't know if I believe that, though.
I understand that he's here today, and I understand that Eddie Marlin will probably send him out here. I am prepared to make him a very, very lucrative financial offer.
Yeah, he won't even talk to you, JD, just to forget it. You called it right. Dutch is a loner. He's not interested in a group.
I think money talks, and I think he will be out here. I'm prepared to offer him a lot of money. He's very skillful in the ring. He's an excellent wrestler, and I think the world of him, and I would like... Dutch, come over here. Come over here. I told you he would come out. Money talks. I've got the money.
Tell you what I know. Dutch Mantel.
Here comes Dutch Mantel looking like the... when they couldn't afford a history teacher, so the gym teacher becomes the history teacher.
Showing up, and there he is.
Dutch, I think you're a great wrestler. I'm prepared to offer you a lot of money to join my dynasty today, more money than you've ever seen in your entire life.
Watch these guys.
What are you talking about? What are you going to do?
Let me light your cigar here first.
Oh, it's funny you say that, Randy. That it's funny that you that you mentioned that I mentioned that. I've been wanting to do a I've been wanting to do an episode of like workplace sexual harassment training videos and shit like that. How about a lolcow live nudist with the EFD and Ormaxer? Sure.
Okay.
EFD. Fuck your chair, EFD, you rotter. You dork. Fuck your chair.
What I want to do, Dutch, is to offer you part of my dynasty. You know, I think you're a great wrestler. Sometimes you're on a crooked road, though. And what I want to do...
something about money, a financial arrangement.
A financial arrangement,
Well,
yes.
how much money are you talking about, JD?
Well, I've thought about it a long time, Dutch, and what I'm wanting to offer you...
Is it Hanukkah still? How's it going, Rush Limbaugh's burner account?
First, is just an incentive to come to my dynasty, is the amount of money that you make.
Man, they're like, let's just give J.D. Costello half an hour in the middle of the show. God damn.
Made last year as a bonus upfront money. I'll put it in an escrow account, and it can be yours today.
You mean what he made all of last
What
year?
he made all of last
You don't even know
year.
what I made last year, JD.
I don't need to know what you made last year. With all the money that I have, it doesn't matter. I've got...
Dutch, my man, you don't need to know how much money he makes. Look at how well-dressed Tony Falk, Pat Crash Rose, and J.D. Costello are. Not to mention the fine private policeman uniforms being worn by the elite security force. You know he's got the money, man. Look at those tails.
Got a whole lot more money than you made last year, and it will all be yours, Dutch. In addition to that, when you join me, I will grant you a 50%...
Man, I love that Pat. Isn't that Pat Rose jacket so badass? Just got the fucking state of Florida on it. Just Pat Rose, Florida.
An increase in pay over the next year, Dutch.
You mean you're guaranteeing him, in addition to putting aside what he made last year, you're guaranteeing him 50%.
Man, I would wear that shit everywhere.
More than he made last
I sure am.
year?
Dutch is an excellent wrestler. I want him part of our dynasty so we can rule professional wrestling.
You must want him bad.
Now, you will guarantee me everything I made last year up front.
Right.
Up front money.
Front money.
And you'll
Ben needs one of those with the state of Rhode Island.
guarantee me a 50% increase on that in regular salary?
Yes, Dutch. Yes, Dutch. You're a great wrestler. I'm prepared to offer you whatever you want. You are going to make it, Dutch, under the
Very Twin Peaks.
auspices of J.D. Costello. You're going to make it right to the top. You can beat Ric Flair. You can be the world heavyweight champion.
Man, bring back being able to, for characters to be able to smoke. Like, don't force it, but like, if it makes sense for a character to smoke, you should be able to, they should be able to smoke.
And I'll see to it that you get that. You'll enjoy fame.
I like all the, I think all the smoking in the old shit is cool.
Enjoy fortune. Sign the contract, Dutch. Come on.
I'm looking at your crew back here that you've signed up, and I should be worth a lot of money. Now, a rich man like you got $20 million, and you wear nice thread.
Exact, thank you.
And you need to, I guess you enjoy the finest cars and the finest standard of life.
Of course.
Am I correct
or not? Of course, and you can enjoy that too.
And I figure that a man with so much money should be walking around with like $3,000 or $4,000 on him right now. And why don't you just
Well, now listen, most of the value of Costello, what is it? Costello, the Costello organization is tied up in stocks and bonds.
give me some money right now.
Let me say
And
this.
let's see what's
Be careful, Dutch.
Down
Now,
here,
are you serious?
I am very serious, Dutch. I'm very serious as I can be. But
Let me
understand.
tell you, money talks and bull Durham walks. You know what I'm talking about?
And down here in the South, Dutch, I can't walk around with a lot of money because all these heathens out here in the studio and at home, you know, they could come up to me and rob me. They know how much money I'm worth and everything. But I'll write you a blank check.
No.
Man, can you imagine going out to lunch with J.D. Costello, the richest man on earth, and he's like, "Oh, now listen, I can't pay for this. I can't take a wallet with me anywhere. All these heathens will take my wallet away. You're gonna have to pick up lunch, Dutch."
$1,000 check. It can be yours.
I don't want a check. I want hard, cold cash. Now, how much money you got on you?
Well, if you want to, let's see.
How much money you got on
I
you
don't
right
carry around much money. Let me.
You want to carry around a couple grand anyway.
I don't. I just can't.
He's already said he's afraid of all the people robbing.
100, 200, 300, 420. I carry around.
Well, I sure look like a $2 bill, man. Let's get a close.
A grand anyway.
I don't. I just can't.
He's already said he's afraid of all the people robbing.
100, 200, 300.
What? Oh, J.D. Costello. Who are you fooling? Come on, man.
420. I carry around 400. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Are you serious or not?
I am very serious,
Well,
Dutch.
why don't we just
I want
take
you.
this for some earnest money?
I don't know about
I'll tell you
that.
what. I'll tell you what we got,
let's,
JD. Baby, we got a deal.
We need to probably sign the contracts first before you walk away with my money, Dutch.
It's in his pocket, JD.
He's
it's already in his pocket.
Not signed any contracts with me, and he's walking away with my money. What is going on here?
J.D. Costello is very Keemstar-like. I'm a multimillionaire. I own all this property. I own all these, play buttons and stuff. And then he's like panhandling for $2 at a time. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then he's gonna get mad like J.D. Costello does here.
Well, I think what happened, I think your $445 bought you the opportunity to talk to Dutch again.
That's not a beforehand deal. My money. He's walking away with my money, Mod Squad. He's walking away with my money.
Yeah, he walked away.
Let me.
JD. Hey, I know he appreciates it.
See, I guarantee you what happened is either somebody sat him down or he just watched his old tapes and he took time and he realized that, like, yes, people want the spur gout, but you have to build to it. It can't just be a constant spur gout from start to finish. So he held a great promo. He did some great banter. And then as the, for the climax, then we got the spur gout.
J.D. Costello just been had Texas style. All he did was take 445. Thanks a lot, J.D. Costello, and all of your dynasty in there. We've got action coming up in the ring. There goes J.D., the Mod Squad, Abdul Gaddafi, Pat Rose, Tony Falk. I think we just saw a little Texas-style shuffle there, David.
I think you're right, and I think the Dutchman's the one that ended up with the cash and the upper hand. Yeah? The ring awaits, and arriving in the ring right now, young Jeff Jarrett. Set to do battle here in a single match against the Patriot, who comes up to the ring right now.
Bell time. And Jeff, who just said...
I'm not trying to jinx anything, and hopefully I don't, but I feel like ever since we found Jimmy, it's the Jeff Jarrett is smooth sailing.
That he had about 3 weeks in the ring, but that good athletic ability, I don't care what the sport is, the good athletic ability will...
Grace is on John Galt looking for co-hosts for her fake Lil Cow show. So far, only rejections. Who would be on John Galt that could host it? Be Brave? Can you imagine? It's me, Be Brave. Welcome to Lil Cow Rejects. Let's talk about the Holocaust.
Carry you a long way. There's a lot of other things you gotta have, but brother, he has sure got that. Look at that.
Look here, arriving at ringside, Bill Dundee.
Bill, don't jump in and mess up a match in here.
If he really wanted to be Vince wanted to be to be a wrestler, he should have went to Memphis to prove his old man wrong. Yeah, but that's a pretty big, I think obviously it mattered a lot to him, but I think the money mattered more. So he had, maybe his line of thinking was, I'll make the money and then I can do whatever I want to. And he pretty much did. He became a wrestler, in his 40s or 50s. He started becoming like an active wrestler. So he did eventually get to do it. He just had to kind of buy the company. Is that the WWF Patriot? No. No. But that's Del Wilkes. Del Wilkes was under the mask as the Patriot in WWF in that, what I thought is an underrated feud with Bret Hart. I thought that was a nice feud. The Patriot in Memphis is just a random person they put under a mask to put somebody over.
Yeah, I've seen you do it before.
Last of this show, Lance Russell. Now, I standing back in the monitor, and this punk in the ring here is out here making excuses for me beating Jerry Lawler and Joe LeDuc. When did I ever need an excuse to beat them, Lance Russell?
Look at Dave Brown. 3 sheets to the wind, brother.
Making excuses, he simply said he didn't want to be the...
That's the other thing about Keemstar. Is there really a difference between... I mean, he's basically behaving like EFD at this point. Like, how far are we from Keem fucking his chair? Like, these like completely drunk, and then like through the later shows too, he'll call in like getting more and more progressively drunk.
Cause of them losing some matches, and
then you find out the next day he says like, "Oh yeah, I drank 3 White Claws and I was so drunk."
There, he appreciated their letting him be in there on their side.
Okay, I'm going to give the boy credit where he's due. He used to play basketball, and he was very good at it. But you know what kind of basketball it was, Lance Russell? It was college basketball. That means he...
I think it would be pretty tough to make an argument. I understand if people think that other people were just as good as him, but I think it would be very difficult to make a case that he's not the best heel of all time. I mean, just the pure emotional reaction from people alone, and like the Stone Cold feud, all the crazy unhinged, I'm rich, I'm gonna make people literally kiss my ass in the ring, all those weird ass personal storylines.
Played with a lot of college kids, a lot of preppy kids just like him. And I'm sure there's a lot sitting out there looking at him saying, "Oh, that's a college graduate right there. Maybe I can be as good as Jeff Jarrett." Wrong, Daddy, wrong. He ain't gonna make it in professional wrestling, Daddy, because this is when you separate the man from the boy. Oh, and I'm gonna give you credit where it's due, boy. He's doing a good job right there, right now, Jack.
Consider how short a time, Bill, he's been in professional wrestling, and you're the one that forced him to get in the ring when he already said he should be in the gym.
What do you mean I forced him? I slapped him because he slapped me one time. Then his dad comes out, tells everybody that he has a bad eye. Well, brother, if you're going to do something, you don't tell people your weak spots, right?
Yeah, well, some people would be more of a man than to take advantage of a person that's got a bad eye like that, and I think he wasn't counting on that situation with you.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, brother. This punk don't have to look too far from me. When he puts on about 50 pounds, he gets about 10 years older. You don't have to far to look for me, boy. I'll be right here breathing down your neck, Mr. Russell.
Well, time is on his side. He's strictly going up. There's no question about that. He's a good-looking young wrestler.
Right now, does he? The Patriot's giving him all he wants right now. I think he's about to, well, the boy's got a little more stuff.
That was an interesting pen style.
And I thought, I got to give you... Well, that's a small... Well, yeah, okay, Russell.
He's quick and he's smart and he's a...
Jeff Jarrett making up for his lack of experience by coming up with a surprise victory and taking advantage of the moment. A natural instinct. Can't wait to see what this young fella does in the future.
Doggone good athlete, and he comes up with a surprising win over the Patriot.
All I can tell you, Mr. Russell, that's the Patriot. Anytime you think you can do it to me, Jarrett, whether it be 3 months, 6 months, 10 years, or whatever, Daddy, I'm the guy that put you in the wrestling business, Mr. Russell says, and I'm the guy that's going to take you out. So when you grow up, punk, and all them college kids thinks you're bad, all them preppy, I can't stand them, because I never went to college. I never went to high school. I did it all in that ring from the time I was 16, Jack, and I'm going to take you out, Jarrett. And if you want to bring your old one-eyed daddy along, do that, too. Thank you.
My God, what an amazing promo. Holy shit.
Official winner, Dave.
The official winner, Jeff Jarrett. The time on it, 2 minutes, 36 seconds.
Okay, more action, and we'll be back to it in just a moment.
In the ring right now, J.D. Costello's Mod Squad and their opponents as they get the motorcycle jackets and the helmets off. J.D. up on the apron here with the Mod Squad rule book in hand. Referee says, let's get it underway. And it is underway.
Underway it is with Jim Jameson starting out against Spike and Basher.
I want you to know I am as mad as a hornet. I am not putting up with what Dutch Mantel did to me. Nobody treats me like that. I'm J.D. Costello. I'm in control. I'll rule this organization, and what I say goes. I am breaking all relationships with Dutch Mantel. As soon as he shaves, as soon as he takes a bath, I might talk to him again. That guy has so much hair, 2 gorillas could hide in his body.
In addition to that, he has $445 a year money, J.D.
And it looks like he's going to keep it.
Dutch Mantel, $445. Pay it back.
If he just broke off all negotiations there.
Listen, if time travel is real, and somebody out there sees this, please put a sign somewhere in the audience of one of these Memphis shows that says Dutch Mantel, $445, please.
Unless J.D. wants to take it away from him.
We're going to make an example to Dutch Mantel. These 2 punks in the ring right now, we're pretending that is Dutch Mantel out there. We're going to destroy him, put him out of wrestling forever. Don't you forget it.
Well, J.D. Costello over talking to Basher on...
J.D. Costello is still alive. Should we get him involved in lolcow rejects? He could do some yapping.
On the ring apron is Jameson being pounded by the Mod Squad, the Southern Tag Team champs. Hey, I understand there is a very good possibility that next week we will have an AWA Southern Heavyweight Championship match.
We can find out what happened to his fortune. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still alive. He had a YouTube page that seemed up. Hopefully I don't have bad information. It looked like his YouTube channel was still updating. When I did the Google search, the image that came up didn't have a death date.
Right here on television there.
All right, championship match next week. Good.
Yeah, that's not an absolute confirm, but it's about 93% positive.
Hope
right
we get
now.
it signed. Yeah,
sir.
Lance Russell, I'm sick of your commentary. You're the only man alive that's seen Haley's Comet 3 times, so you shut up. Let me tell you one thing about Dutch Mantel. Everybody that we wrestle in this organization tends to have the ability for us to run them out of the territory. The same thing's going to happen to Dutch Mantel. I've commissioned all the milk carton dealers.
Let's see. J.D. Costello. He was 6 feet tall, weighed 250 pounds. He was out of New Orleans, Louisiana. This doesn't say. I'm on Cage Match on his profile, and there's not a lot of information on there. I don't know. Shoot.
In the area to print his name and picture on the milk carton because he is going to be missing very soon.
Very clever, J.D.
Yeah, pay what you owe, Dutch. $445. I'm gonna start putting that in the comment section on his podcast.
Spike and Basher really in total control here over David Johnson and Jim Jameson. Johnson in there right now.
David, are you back?
I am back. Look at how mean Spike and Basher is. In New Orleans, when they got fired from the police department, they were so mean they got thrown in the New Orleans jail. Well, they got thrown out of the jail by the inmates because they were so mean. The inmates threw them out to the Cajun
How mean can they be? They let Dutch Mantel walk off with $445.
people, and you know how mean Cajun people are. They are mean. They're nasty. The Cajun people.
That's 4.5 days salary for. Imagine if Ben and Grace just lost 4.5 days of salary, just like that.
People found them so mean they threw them into the Cajun swamp. They were so mean in the Cajun swamp, the Cajun alligators threw them back out.
Boy, that is mean. There's no two ways about that. Count of 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be it right there.
2 minutes 45 seconds. The time.
I also inadvertently saw when I was trying to figure out if he was still alive that the Mod Squad apparently made it to WCW, at least for a limited time.
Of it,
I mean, everything's a limited time, but you know what I mean. Like they had a brief run there, from what it looks like.
I've spent, unfortunately, having to listen to J.D. Costello over here, but the Mod Squad, now they just dump David Johnson over the top rope.
rough and tough team. There's no doubt. Spike and Basher, they hold the AWA Southern Tag Championship belts, and they come up in a one-sided victory over Jameson and Johnson. They were never in it, and Spike and Basher made certain that they never got in it.
Yeah, that was it. It was all Mod Squad. 2:45, again, the time on it.
Okey-doke. We're going to take time out right here. We've got a tag team action match of Dutch Mantel and Pat Tanaka going against Tony Falk and Keith Eric. All of that action and more coming up in just a moment.
Well, that's not bad. That'll be fun.
Oh, that card Wednesday night, a full one, 6 big bouts in that main event. Can you believe it? Bill Dundee, Buddy Landell, Joe LeDuc, Jerry Lawler. And LeDuc has already promised Lawler he's going to fire one or both of you guys over the top rope out into the audience.
You know, Lance Russell, this ain't fair at all. This ain't at all fair. All we did was told Jeff Jarrett he wasn't man enough to be in the wrestling business, slapped him around a little bit, and took him down, pinned him 1, 2, 3, and everybody's mad at us. Lawler's mad at us. Then this big Canadian comes out of here. Lawler shows a tape of him getting hurt when he weighed 240, picked him up like he wasn't nothing, threw him 16, 20 feet and hurt his leg. Now, Lawler wants him to do that. That's not...
This is going to be the vibe I'm going for on Locale Vibes. I'm going to let Thick Gemini be he's going to be the Bill Dundee, the talker, and then I'm just going to come in every once in a while.
Not fair, Russell. The only thing I can say to you, Lawler, is you're scared of me and you're scared of Buddy Landell. And you know why he wants me hurt, Russell? You know why he wants this guy hurt? So he doesn't have to defend that stinking belt that you shouldn't have in the first place. That's not fair, Lance Russell. Now, Joe LeDuc, I'm going to tell you something. I may not be the biggest guy in the world, but I'm real smart, Daddy. And whatever I go to think or to come up to keep you from doing that is going to happen. And I don't care what it is, Russell.
Yeah, we'll see Wednesday night.
You know, Jeff Jarrett, not today or tomorrow, but one day I give you credit. You're going to be somebody to contend with. But now you realize that you can't hang with the big boys. And speaking of hanging with the...
I really like Dundee and Landell. I liked it when they had Dutch in the crew too, but I like them solo. I'm wondering if we're going to head toward another Dundee Lawler feud and then Dundee's going to leave for a little while. I hope not, because I'm really liking these segments.
Big boys, Lance Russell. All I heard is promises from Jerry.
Remember when they took the whole show over and then the whole boy came out and smashed the entire set apart?
Lawler and Joe LeDuc. You know, Jerry Lawler, just because Joe LeDuc picked you up and did that to you, don't think for one iota, Daddy, that he can do it to the superstar, the nature boy, because we're real men, Daddy. We know we put the M in the word man, okay? Evansville, Indiana, Daddy. We're going to take it to you all the way. And Jerry Lawler, you know that you stole that belt from Bill Dundee. That's no secret, okay? But Joe LeDuc, I come out here last week and I told everybody in Evansville, Indiana, that we owned that damn town, okay? And not only that, but I told them that I was going to knock that goofy, stupid-looking look off your face. And that's exactly what happened. What happened at the end of the match, Lance? Were they laying in a pool of blood or what?
Yeah, with hands.
Evansville, Indiana, we're taking you out, Daddy.
Wednesday.
Wow.
Okay, bell time.
Falk and Eric. It sounds like a Viking name. Mantel and Tanaka versus Falk and Eric.
And here we go with our expiration of time event. Keith Eric.
Don't think for one iota.
Teaming with Tony.
Ben should use that line on Keemstar. Listen, Keem. I put the M in male, okay?
Tony Falk to go against Dutch Mantel and Pat Tanaka. That's Tanaka starting off, Dave.
Yeah, Pat Tanaka's out of Hawaii. I haven't seen him a lot around here. We've seen him a couple of times, and he has looked very good. He is very well schooled in karate, judo, all of that.
We've seen him several times also in the arenas around the territory, and Tanaka very strong in the martial arts. And he is in there with Tony Falk.
Falk backed him into the corner, a little hair pulling, I think Tony used. Tried it again there, but reversed, and Tanaka.
Speaking of male, whatever happened to the win a date with Buddy Landell or whatever it was? We never got to see that, did we?
And put him down. Boy, he knew he had him coming back at him, and he just chopped him.
Took advantage of the slingshot effect, and brother, when he got there, he unloaded on.
I remember the dude was like, for the Fantastics dating. He was like, now remember, just like the Fantastics, make sure that you're 18 or over and that you're single. And Buddy Landell's like, I don't put those rules on my contest.
Falk, and I mean blistered in.
Something very satisfying about that, considering the hot dog that Tony Falk is. Falk.
And brother, when he got there,
I had to have misheard that. I thought there was going to be another line after that, but he just said because of the hot dog that Tony Falk has. What?
He unloaded on Falk, and I mean blistered in.
Something very satisfying about that, considering the hot dog that Tony Falk is.
Okay. So he's saying it was that he liked seeing him get put in his place because he's like a show off. I just picked up on the last half. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Falk. Tried putting Tanaka into the rope, but caught a shoulder butt instead. Tanaka leaps over and up with a chop, and again, Tony Falk on the mat. This time he heads for the corner and gets the tag on his partner, Keith Eric. Watching over in the other corner, that Dutch man.
Did you see Tony Falk just selling a heart attack or something?
Mantel, favorite citizen of Oil Trough, Texas. A powerful chop by Tanaka. Here's the Dutchman.
That is a stocky young man. He's not all that tall. And Dutch Mantel is very direct.
Yes.
Wow.
That was the Texas version of a karate chop there.
Yeah.
Just hit him with your fist in the top of the head.
Pat gets a lot of power out of that stocky, hard body of his. Tony Falk takes the tag again, and Dutch says, get on in here. Welcome to Oil Trough.
Conference between Tony Falk and Keith Eric. I don't know what good that's going to do him at this point. Facing the Dutchman. Falk fires him into the rope, but Dutch ready with a boot as he came off of there. Upper arm hammers Falk down to the mat. We're coming up on the 3-minute mark of this expiration of time match. Maybe one fall, maybe two or three. Depends on the time. As long as there's time remaining, we expect to have some wrestling action. Good shot of Dutch Mantel. Keith Eric down on the mat.
I like the security guard. It's normally the same guy. Every once in a while it'll be somebody different, but I like that, like, this dude was like working, but he was like witnessing like all this cool wrestling history.
Dutch really putting on the pressure with that upper arm.
Boy, he's got it hooked in such a way he can go the opposite direction the elbow's meant to bend, and he is manhandling Eric with no problem. Oh. Right off his feet.
Eric trying to get back to his feet, just can't do it. Now he is on
I think we can always count on an expiration of time match.
his feet. Did he get the tag on Tony Falk? I thought he got a tag. I thought he tagged. Maybe Falk just doesn't want to come in here. I don't know.
The referee just waved him off on that one, so evidently he did not.
Did not get it. All right.
I guess they do kind of let us see some wrestlers interact with each other without them having to worry about the consequence. Like, even if somebody loses a fall, like, they didn't lose the match, so it really wouldn't count as a loss, so you could kind of ride, you know what I mean? But it does seem like every single show is a 2 out of 3 falls match where we only see the first fall.
Boy, this kid throws a mean chop.
Ooh, he does. Ooh, right into the corner with another one.
He head-butted Keith Eric right smack down on the floor. Tag again on the Dutch. They work very well together. Tanaka and Mantel. And
They
boy,
certainly
they're
do.
brand new together.
There's a backbreaker across the knee by Dutch Mantel. Keith Eric on the mat, counts at 2. He kicked out of it at the 2 count. He's over to the corner, and there's the tag, and here comes from St. Louis, Missouri, Tony Falk. Winless.
I like how he gave him a little mini intro from St. Louis, Missouri.
And how many matches?
I lost count.
Several
Tried
hundred.
my best to keep up to it, and he won't help you at all on his booking. Oh, believe me, he'll let us know if he ever wins that first match. Mantel put him in a position he won't be winning one right here. Or he plowed him in the middle. Whoa! See how compact that chop is? Boy, it just traveled about 8 inches.
He delayed.
Can we get a referee to come in and take a look at this? It looks like he's getting awfully close to the throat area. Which would be illegal. Those type of karate holds are not legal.
Yeah, and sets up for, I guess he really gets maximum power when he unleashes that chop. Pat Tanaka. Tony Falk off the rope. This time he catches it with the back of the foot. Tag made. Keith Eric.
We need a drunk Dave Brown to be like, come on, Lance, what is this? Is this professional wrestling or the Karate Kid? Get this guy out of here.
Keith did not fare too well his last trip in there.
He doesn't know what to call any of his Tanaka's karate moves.
Wait a minute, here comes J.D. Costello back.
Wait. It's over with. Hey.
What are you doing, J.D.? Costello ringing a bell, not us.
I said it's over with. Dutch Mantel has messed with the wrong person. He's messed with J.D. Costello. This match is finished. I have a personal score to settle with this man.
Well, this was a real J.D. Costello-centric episode. He's out here again. We got enough time for an angle.
It's going to be one-on-one. The match is over with. Clear out that geek from Ethiopia, Tony Falk. Get him out. Get him out of the...
Clear out that geek from Ethiopia? Wow. What?
We got no business coming out here. The match is now officially over with. Dutch went in behind, rolled him up, got a 1-2-3. And
out of the ring. He is not going to do that to me. Nobody steals.
All right, see you later, Randy.
1 cent from J.D. Costello. You don't, Eddie Merlin doesn't, and that thing in the ring doesn't either. I'm not putting...
He's not giving up on the $445.
...up with it. You get out of the ring, Tanaka. I want him right there, Dirty Dutch Mantel.
you want him by himself? You better have all the company you can get. J.D. Costello stripping down the fighting side.
I'm not putting up with it. You laugh at me either.
I'm just telling you, J.D. I'd think it over. J.D. peels off.
You're telling me this guy is gold, man. J.D. Costello has completely won me over with just on this one episode alone, dude. He is going for it.
His tie, his shirt, his coat. He's in the ring with Dutch Mantel. J.D. attacks Dutch. Now he's outside running. His first attack didn't get too far. Uh-oh. Costello caught by Mantel. Here comes the Mod Squad. Here's the whole dynasty of Costello. Pat Rose, Tony Falk, Abdul Gaddafi.
Well, they got them all in there. Costello is now backed away from a lot of it, though.
We need some help for Dutch. Paul Diamond, Billy Travis, Jeff Jarrett, Pat Tanaka, Jim Jameson. And a brawl ensues.
Pandemonium has broken loose.
The ring full of it, where they've been beating and kicking and slamming on Dutch Mantel. They did their best to put him so he won't be wrestling.
Costello finally calls them out of there, but Mod Squad did some damage to Dutch Mantel.
with that interruption in here, Dave, I don't know whether you got an official time or not.
Time on it was 6:03 on the match.
6:03, okay. While they're checking Dutch over, we're going to take time out, and we'll check our time and...
Man, that's how you end a fucking show. Wow.
Dutch, and be back in just a moment.
Man, the way he tore his clothes off, he's built for Boyd. The vague racial insults and tearing his clothes off, Boyd.
I couldn't believe it when I saw JD unpeel and start getting ready to get in the ring. I should have known that he had all of the dynasty standing back there waiting to come in there and jump Mantel at the first adverse problem that he had in there.
Which wasn't long.
No, it was not long. Dutch blocked a right hand from him, and then he rolled out of the ring, started running around it, and Dutch was hot on his tail, grabbed him by the pants leg when he came back in, and then here comes everybody into the ring.
That's the way that one ended up. Officially, though, Dutch Mantel and Pat Tanaka did win the match. 1 fall to none. Time ran out, or time did not run out. J.D. Costello.
He didn't believe him. Did you see that? He double-checked him on the list when he said that they won the match.
Rang the bell, but then Dutch got the pin on Keith Eric. So Falk and Keith Eric lose it. Falk is still without a victory. Paul Diamond defeated the Undertaker today in a match. Paul pretty well had that one in hand. Paul looking very...
Paul Diamond defeats the Undertaker, the former drug addict.
Very good of late, and today's match no exception. Then Hustler Rip Rogers in here. Rip was going against David Haskins, but I think he had psyched himself into thinking he was going against Paul Diamond.
Yeah.
Rip did win the match over David Haskins in about 4 minutes. Jeff Jarrett defeated the Patriot. Nice move by Jeff Jarrett in that match, too.
Should be noted here, he certainly was an opportunist. He took advantage of the moment, and boy, that was it.
And he got the victory in 2 minutes, 36 seconds. Then it was Spike and Basher, the Mod Squad, with J.D. Costello and their official match going against Jim Jameson and David Johnson, and it was the Mod Squad, in fact, winning that one. Then Dutch Mantel, Pat Tanaka with a win over Tony Falk and Keith Eric, but as we just talked about a moment ago, all the action actually occurred after that match, after J.D. Costello came out here and challenged Dutch Mantel.
Well, the Dutchman came out and walked off with $445 of...
Lance Russell sticking it to J.D. Costello.
Costello's money. I don't think that it was a good idea to climb in the ring with Dutch one-on-one.
True.
I think we're about at it here today, David. By golly, we've used the time up in pretty good shape. We'll be back next week, and we'll be looking for you.
What a great that was a great episode. J.D. Costello, I always thought that he was like fun to watch, but like he was actually like he was finding his vibe here. He was really getting into it. So I got a little bit of time. We can't watch the whole thing, but I want to just see if they'll take the stream down if we watch the Jamie Dundee shoot interview. So if the stream goes down, I mean, I'll just end the stream. But since we've had like a full stream, if it gets taken down, it's not a big deal. So let's see. There might just be clips and even. There's Bill Dundee later on in life. That's what he looked like. That's what he looked like. Well, here's a clip. Let's see. This is from the interview here. Jamie Dundee shoots on Undertaker sleeping with his wife, issues with the Sandman. Jamie Dundee during the shoot interview and saying like that he's a punk bitch midget and that Bill Dundee was a midget too, and asked if Jamie Dundee tried to fondle Stephanie McMahon, and that's why they fired his goofy. Jamie Dundee would have done a few things for Keemstar for free, but at a third thing, he just said, hey, it's time to pay up. Even Jamie Dundee. Look how close he's getting to Sean Oliver. This is supposed to be just a normal shoot interview where they sit down and like answer questions and that's it, and Jamie Dundee is like all in his fucking this guy wouldn't be great for Lil Cow Rejects. Isn't the vibe, well, I guess Grace isn't going for Jerry Springer, but like he is Jerry Springer. He was on the show like multiple times.
Dundee in your last shoot interview.
It's time to look for talent outside the current sphere and start getting like drawing from non-traditional places. Jamie Dundee is content, and he will say anything at all.